quarterback precision stuff is pretty cool. The offensive line, defensive line, like sled push is cool. The kick-tack-toe, I think, is tough to replicate.
Yeah, does that. How would you, is there anything you would add to Pro Bowl weekend to change it? Is there any skills competition you would like to see these players perform in if you were Roger Goodell?
So I think they're doing it this year. I believe, you remember back years ago, they used to almost do the obstacle courses with guys?
Yeah.
Almost like
Battle of the Network Stars.
Gladiators.
Yeah, American Gladiators. Yeah.
Like something like that around like the football obstacle world, I think would be really fun just because it's super competitive. A bunch of different guys could be a part of it. And I think it get juices flowing with guys. So I think something like deep into that would be cool.
Yeah. I liked American Gladiators growing up. That was such a good show.
Such a great show.
Oh, it was.
Such a great show.
He is Dan Orlovsky. He'll be back with us next week to actually talk about the Super Bowl out in Vegas. We will do that next Thursday with Dan. Thank you very much, Dan. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right, buddy. Take care. Dan Orlovsky with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He joins us each week courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Has the Super Bowl line moved, Lance? I haven't really looked at it.
I think it's still stuck at 1.5.
1.5? So that's probably where it's going to stay?
It's going to be an interesting week. We end our show with this story, and I had, before the breaking news happened on this story, I had this story down to end the show with because of the text that went on with this. But former Alabama baseball coach Brad Bohannan has received the longest NCAA show cause in its history. The former Alabama baseball coach Brad Bohannan has received a 15-year show cause from the NCAA in addition to a $5,000 fine and 3 years of probation.
He will never coach again.
I'm really surprised he didn't get a lifetime ban. I mean, that's essentially what you gave him. Why not just drop the hammer and make a point here, you know?
Now, on the flip side of that,
assuming they could,
Bert Neff, a real estate investor and youth baseball coach in Indiana, has been charged with destroying evidence, tampering with witnesses, and providing false statements to the FBI. He was the guy on the other end of the alleged phone call from the Alabama coach. And it turns out he wasn't just placing the bet. According to a story in The Athletic, with Neff's information, individuals labeled as Gambler 1, Gambler 2, Gambler 3, and Gambler 4 all wagered on an April 28, 2023 game, according to the documents. And here is the text he sent. After, you guys remember the Alabama starting pitcher, I think it was Luke Holman, the ace on the staff, was a late scratch, and apparently, according to the reporting, that's when Bohannan let Neff know that they were moving on from the starter. He's a scratch. He says in a text, and this comes from the FBI, quote, "Now they are throwing a bigger turd. F-man, F," Neff sent to Gambler 1 in an encrypted message. The document continues. Neff told Gambler 3 that the game has now become, I don't know how many, this is a 1 and 11.0% winner. What 1 bazillion, whatever that is.
But what was the communication between Bohannan and the Neff guy?
He texted him on, according to the NCAA, this is what they maintain, on an encrypted message via Signal. All caps, Hammer, the pitcher's name, is out for sure. Let me know when I can tell LSU. Hurry.
So you got a bunch of dummies, though, because they only won the game 8-6.
I know.
Yeah, it was close. Bama boys fought hard that day to cover up for the quote-unquote turd that was starting a bigger turd.
A bigger turd.
Yeah. By the way, in that whole exchange there, he tried to call Gambler 1, 2, 3, and 4 and ask him about what the FBI was asking. Hey, you got to destroy your phones. You got to do this, get new phones. And they were crushing phones and getting new phones all the time. And the FBI still had all the information that they needed.
These guys were not exactly criminal masterminds, is what you're telling me.
That cloud's got a lot in it.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Be careful.
All right, that's our show today. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time, and we're down at the World of Wills tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned for more details on that. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
It is a historic weekend in college basketball.
Really?
Yeah. Tom Hart said the other night on the Auburn broadcast that his guys tell him that since they've been doing the AP poll, they've never had 4 top 10 matchups in the same weekend of the regular season before. We got 4 of them, 3 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday this weekend. Big game for Auburn on the road. Alabama back home, tough test with Mississippi State. We'll talk basketball coming up in a little bit. We will forever, in this first segment, before it's over with, we will forever end a long-running debate on this show. It will end today.
Wow.
It will end 14 years, I believe this debate has been going on.
Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
It will end in this first segment. Case closed.
I cannot
today.
wait for this.
I don't even know what he's
talking. You know what he's talking about, Lance?
No idea.
I don't either.
Heck,
let's do it now.
You want to over Ryan Grubb possibly being Seahawks?
Ryan.
By the way, that's what I was just texting about.
Okay.
It's.
Well, let's start with Ryan Grubb.
Yeah. Lance has breaking news.
I don't have breaking news, but I've reached out to multiple people that would know kind of what's going on. He is a serious candidate with the Seahawks. Apparently, Pete Carroll, who obviously is no longer there and seems like he's going to be involved with the Washington program because his son has been elevated to the offensive coordinator there. Pete Carroll has always been kind of enthralled, very interested in the system Ryan Grubb runs. And so I think there's a lot of Seahawks front office guys. You know, Mike McDonald, let's not forget, is a defensive guy.
That's right. Yeah, defensive coordinator.
So,
and you guys have always told me, unlike in college where the head coach sort of sticks his head in everybody's room and meddles with everybody, that in the NFL, the defensive guys run the defense, the offensive guys run the offense, and there's not a whole lot of blending between the two sides of the ball.
You know, and John Snyder has been one of these general managers behind the scenes. I mean, he just makes really good moves. Now, look, they were awful 31st in total defense this year. One of the reasons they bring Mike McDonald in. But apparently a lot of the brass there, they're enamored with Ryan Grubb, and he is going to be one of the serious finalists for this job. And you just wonder if Ryan Grubb, I don't know who represents Ryan Grubb. We were told Kalen DeBoer is represented by
Jimmy Sexton, but that was late developing. He's not always been a Sexton guy.
Yeah, and Ryan Grubb, you know, he gets to Tuscaloosa. You walk around for a couple of weeks. You don't really like the feel. You are very comfortable in Seattle. Crazy thing, and I've been told if DeBoer loses Grubb, this is a massive, massive deal. They've been together since 2007, and he really is the fingerprints of this offense.
Well, JT83 in the chat room says Seattle running with a first-time head coach and first-time NFL offensive coordinator certainly is a choice. And you do wonder if some of the ownership, you know, you want Mike McDonald to have who he's comfortable with, but you're also like, boy, we got a lot of first times in front of names here now. First-time head coach, first-time offensive coordinator. I'd kind of like a little experience in the room.
No,
so
I get that, but at the same time, when you watched Washington's offense, it was a pro-style offense.
Oh yeah,
I think it's you know, plug and play.
Okay, now listen, I made a quick reaction video in front of Alfa Romeo yesterday when I was there getting my car service, and the first reaction from the Purple Rain folks up in Seattle was, "Oh, we're just not going to comment that this guy's standing in front of Alfa Romeo in Alabama talking about the possibility of Ryan Grubb." That was one of the first comments.
Why does that matter? What were they?
I think it was.
Yeah, they thought we were, you know, horse and buggy.
I think it was a flex that I was standing outside of an Alfa Romeo place.
So they thought you'd be in front of a Kubota dealership.
So then
I'm getting my tractor service.
Because Kalen DeBoer was the offensive coordinator at Indiana. He's the OC. He's an offensive-minded coach. He was the OC there. He's been an OC before he became a head coach.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Grubb's been with him since Sioux Falls. So you can't say they haven't intertwined in building this offense. Ryan Grubb was the primary play caller, but Kalen DeBoer was the offensive coordinator, and Ryan Grubb was below him in the process.
But let's not forget when we initially heard about the hire, the first person we had on was Brock Heward from Fox. And he said the thing that would excite me the most if I'm an Alabama fan is he's bringing his entire gang with him.
Oh, that's right. The entire gang was always the big selling point.
Yeah,
yes.
and Ryan Grubb was 1A.
That's right.
And you just, I don't know. I mean, look, Kalen DeBoer knows sooner or later he's losing Ryan Grubb.
Well, yeah, I mean, he could be a head coach next year very easily if Alabama has any success at all this year.
If I had been Washington, I think I would have just elevated him up.
I was surprised they didn't, honestly. Yeah.
But you heard kind of one of their prereqs was we want a guy that's got head coaching experience.
Which is always a huge mistake.
Yeah, I never understand that.
Yeah, I kind of, though.
I want the best coach. I don't care what he is.
If you're an Alabama fan, you want the acclamation of Kalen DeBoer from the Pac-12 to the SEC. You want him with all hands on deck. You want Ryan Grubb there this year.
Yeah. Now, if Ryan Grubb is a Jimmy Sexton client, I could also see this as I doubt that paperwork has been signed. It could have been.
Oh, it has not.
No,
it has not been officially announced at Alabama. Ryan Grubb has never been called Alabama's offensive coordinator.
So I doubt that paperwork has been signed anywhere. So if you're Jimmy Sexton, this wouldn't be a bad time to say, yeah, I know you guys are planning on paying $1.5 million, but you don't want to lose your offensive coordinator before he calls a play in the spring game, do you?
Yeah.
That's going to take $2.5 million.
Yeah, a lot of people have fallen in love with Ryan Grubb for good reason. But I said, hey, Kalen DeBoer, this was the video. Kalen DeBoer was an offensive coordinator before he became a head coach. Ryan Grubb's been with him since Sioux Falls, since way back 2007, LT says. So they've intertwined. Well, the Washington folks, #Purple Rain, we appreciate all the clicks and things, the impressions you made on our social media platform yesterday.
I got to go watch this video.
Perp Smoke.
Perp Smoke?
Yeah, for purple smoke.
It's not PERP. It's not like he's getting arrested.
That couldn't be less true. DeBoer has been out of the offensive scheme and play calling for several years now. The offense and play calling is 100% Grubb's. Kalen didn't even know the names of the plays that they ran at practice, says Perp Smoke.
That's silly. If you think that's true, that's silly.
I will say this. I did hear that Ryan Grubb, and maybe this was misinformation, had changed his bio on his Twitter to saying something about the University of Alabama, and there is nothing on it now. And he hasn't posted since January 13th, and that was a open letter to Husky Nation.
He was at the Auburn-Alabama basketball game.
Yeah.
And he was always talking to people, so I didn't want to go up and introduce myself, but he was there. He was hanging out, and that was the Ryan Williams flip day, if you remember correctly, right before the game, they flipped. So we all always had heard that Ryan Grubb and Ryan Williams had spent some time on some dry erase boards and watching tape together. There's some other Washington people who also echo the facts that Kalen DeBoer basically just drools at practice that Ryan Grubb is.
How did this team get to the playoffs?
That Ryan Grubb is the reason. Auburn fans reacting yesterday.
What did they say?
Oh, it's all over the place, Brownie. You got to go read them.
You're just being too positive? Yeah. Well, I did see one guy say that we used to be a good show until we started being Alabama blank writers.
Yeah, and then I did a hot take on coaches in college last night and everyone acting like they're blood diamond miners. Because of the way they have to work 16 hours a day now. So my timeline is full up with hot takes today.
Really? On Twitter?
Yeah, we'll talk more about that blood diamond industry that is college coaching nowadays. But Ryan Grubb, possibility of going back to Seattle. What would it mean? What's the impact? Let's do instant analysis here. I mean, what's the impact?
You can't say it's no impact because this is obviously a guy Kalen DeBoer is extremely comfortable with.
Yeah, and back to what he said, the whole gang, man, getting Kane Womack back, and this was everybody. We're all friends.
This would feel like the moment Nick Saban lost Kirby Smart, and you're like, I trust Nick Saban could go find a guy, but Kirby Smart knew what Nick Saban was thinking, and Nick Saban knew what Kirby Smart was thinking. Now Alabama went and found Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah.
And, you didn't really miss a beat.
Who Kirby had raised like a child.
Yeah, who Kirby had raised like a child. So I'm sure there's a guy that DeBoer, like in the back of his mind, if Grubb did walk in and say, hey, just as a heads up, Seahawks have reached out, I'm going to listen. I'm sure the moment he said that, DeBoer was like, I'd hire this guy.
Yeah. Shepard, you're up from wide receiver coach.
Or I've always liked so-and-so. He and I have talked over the years, and if ever there was a chance to hire him, I'm going to hire him. Kind of like a Kane Womack situation, right? When they were in Indiana, they used to talk, and they always kind of wanted to coach together. And so I'm sure there's a guy in Kalen DeBoer's mind, and that guy is probably like, come coach Alabama's roster? Sure, I'll do that in a heartbeat. Yes, thank you for the ask. Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be a big loss because it's a guy he's obviously comfortable with. But, I think it's far from crippling. I think that was kind of your point in the Alfa Romeo video, right?
But I would say this, I do think, and I've said the job doesn't seem too big for Kalen DeBoer, but because of the familiarity, the trust, hey, look, you run your offense and I can delegate doing other things. Yeah. Now the focus becomes, I've got to really, really get on this offense now, and I'm going to lose some focus on the other aspects.
I mean, David makes a great point. All the hashtag Purple Rain people that make, DeBoer sound like late Bobby Bowden and Joe Paterno coaching from the press box.
49-year-old Caleb DeBoer.
Yeah. David says DeBoer literally was calling plays in 2020 at Indiana. I mean, that is not that long ago that the dude literally was calling plays.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's forgotten how to do it.
Yeah. So we'll see how it all works out. Obviously, best case scenario is Ryan Grubb staying because they have a team that's been working well together. And the fact that they went out to get Kane Womack from South Alabama was a big deal, right? Because of the familiarity he had with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb. They've all worked together before, and there's something about having a staff of people that like each other and are all pulling in one direction. So it is a big story. And then you get to the spring practice that's about to start, and if you had to rearrange your staff again, and then that portal opens up after. If you're not clicking in practice and the players don't feel the right way, there's that other portal that still could open. So still some choppy waters in Tuscaloosa, and maybe I'm playing it too calm as I enjoy a latte in front of the Alfa Romeo of Birmingham sign yesterday for the folks in Washington, but.
I love that they were busting your balls for that.
Oh, we're just going to ignore it. He's standing in front of an Alfa Romeo. If only they knew. I grew up in a trailer.
I know.
Yeah. I've been doing oil changes all day.
Press your brakes.
Mash them.
Mash your brakes. Okay,
show,
horn right here, me.
The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. They bring you the lock every night as well, lanceslock.com, where you can go get your plays for the weekend, including the big matchups in college basketball Saturday and Sunday. You don't play the Senior Bowl like that, do you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you've got a good feel for it, yeah.
If the Senior Bowl comes to you, you play it, right?
Yeah, right.
Lanceslock.com. Go check that out for the free. We get one free play every day, lanceslock.com, and check out some of our packages. And that's brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill.
Yeah, our friends at Hemp Hill want to remind you, make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. Make sure you're warm and toasty at home. Our friends at Hemp Hill, they can handle that for you. Call 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. That is our friends at Hemp Hill Services.
And let's put something to bed here after I tell you about Urology Centers of Alabama. Early detection so important in everything in life when it comes to your health care. That's why this month I want to remind you that UCA, Urology Centers of Alabama, has 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones. They'll take care of you. Over 35 urologists, 16 locations, one near you. Visit urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com to schedule your appointment today. By the way, I have gotten really good about saying urological needs.
Oh, very good, Jim.
I mean, I've improved on that tremendously.
That's good work, Eddie.
All right, it is time to put a couple of things to bed. One of them is a long-running debate on the show that started, oh my goodness, so long ago. But here we go.
Is this going to be controversial?
It is not controversial for you and me. It is controversial for Brown. First off, I would like to say that a number of folks from UPS drivers reached out to me yesterday and said on the layoffs, companies always overstaff non-union part-time management right before contract negotiations, which is what's just happened. I appreciate all y'all's thoughts today, thinking about us. But 95% of the cuts will be the non-union guys they hired just in case we went on strike. So a lot of the great truck drivers for UPS and people that work in the warehouses who load up the trucks, who listen to us on the reg, most of them are going to be okay during these cuts.
That's not the way that played in the news.
It is not.
Yes.
In fact, he goes, it happens every 5 years. Contract expires. But like always, media, LOL, not you guys, has to spin their narrative.
Yep.
Really enjoy y'all's show.
Oh, thanks.
And then he writes in, David, appreciate this. Jim, please let Brown know that you're exactly right about the roof of the UPS truck and FedEx truck. They're made of plastic to allow heat to escape. His attempt to jump and land on top would have probably compensated Mrs. Brown nicely, assuming he has a good life insurance policy. He really does have a good life insurance policy, so Mrs. Brown would be okay. So David actually went out to his truck and gave us a demonstration.
Oh, how
so,
about
Brown,
that?
I've been telling you this ever since you said you could jump out of the third floor of our Jock studio and land on the FedEx and then UPS truck.
I think this is the least important part of this discussion, but okay, let's go ahead.
I hope he throws a 200-pound W through the top.
It is what I've always said. Well, I mean, you would go right through.
I don't think the whatever it's made of, if it was, I don't know, a little bit of concrete that gave with some sport turf on the top, he still wouldn't be able. He still wouldn't be able to stick the landing.
Yeah, I've never. I don't remember the argument being whether or not I could stay on top of the truck, just that I could actually land on it.
It's like I'm going to jump off but you don't think I could land on the ground? You're going to die.
No.
I didn't say that. I'm going to land on the ground.
No, Lance's argument was always you wouldn't even land on top of the truck. You'd hit the side, slide down like a cartoon character.
I am going to send Scott that post that I sent you guys, and I guess he'll let us know whether he can play it or not.
But sound up. This is from David, who said Brown would not be able to stick the landing because of this. Sound up, please.
Well, he said that pretty hard.
He's not, Brown. You weigh 200 pounds. That's a wrench. Yeah, I think that is a wrench, right?
That is, yes. That's a wrench, Jim. Good job, Jim.
It would gash both of your legs.
Oh, it certainly would, but
I've said that for years that you would go through it. It would slide. It would slit you. It would razor blade you to death.
Really don't remember that being part of the argument, though, Jim. The argument was always we were on a third floor, and there was a large window, and the FedEx truck and the UPS truck would always pull up right outside that window. Now, you're going to have to do a Pythagorean theorem here because,
of course,
I mean, as anyone does, Rockstar. The third floor that window was probably 20 feet off the ground.
It's the third floor, so 30 feet.
It's been a minute since I've been in there.
Yeah, I
30
mean,
feet.
Well, from where you would jump, it would actually be
22 feet.
Okay, let's go 22 feet. The truck was probably 10 feet from the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody wants to do the Pythagorean theorem there,
solve for X.
The truck is 10 feet away from the building and 10 feet tall.
The truck?
Yeah.
No, taller.
12?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so 10 feet away from the building, 12 feet tall. I'm 22 feet up in the air, running out the window and jumping. So if anybody wants to do the math on that, feel free to and let me know if this would have worked.
Yeah.
I only said that with a running start, I could jump out that. What are you doing, Rockstar?
Trying to sneeze. Trying so hard.
With a running jump, I could jump out that window and land on top of the truck. Never really talked about whether or not I'd go through the roof or not. It doesn't matter.
I've always said that, though.
Okay, Jim, you're right about that, Jim. I'd go through the roof, yes.
I think this was... First, Forrester, can we show this? It was just on Twitter. So this is what would happen if Brown tried this. He's working on it. But we will show you exactly how this would have played out if Brown would have tried to jump from the Crest building and land on top of either UPS or FedEx.
I always thought the discussion was that you could land on top of it, almost Spider-Man-esque. Here's the video that LT's talking about, what you always thought would happen.
Yeah. Now, he didn't get a running start. That's his fatal flaw right here.
I don't know.
Got to get the old running start.
Would you guys say he's dead? I would say he's dead.
Well, he's hurt.
I think he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead.
I think he's dead because he hits face, all his teeth are gone.
God almighty, that hurts.
Skull's cracked, and then he goes directly backwards and gets the back of his head on concrete. He's dead.
Yeah, but if he gets a running start,
it's a full flip. He lands on his stomach.
If he gets a running start, he's okay, though. That's his problem. Don't move on his part.
I don't think so, Brown.
Yep,
I think he goes off the other side.
Well, I'd rather land and go off the other side than do what he did.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this is Brown is, and I could fight a bear. No, Brown could outrun a bear.
Outrun a bear if my life depended on it.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline would kick in and I'd outrun the bear if my life depended on it. Now,
Lady Bird, you're going the wrong way.
By the way, we settled this debate a long time ago.
I don't know why we're doing the best up show today.
What debate did we settle?
No, we settled that you couldn't have made that jump.
Yes. Oh, how did we settle that?
Well, I mean, just common sense.
Oh, because Lance says I can't do it. Right. Okay. Got that.
Again,
if somebody wants to do the math.
I just say we end all debate. Let's go back to the building.
Yeah, we'll pad you up too.
I don't think we're allowed in that building anymore, are we?
I think we
But you're leaving it quickly, so
That's true.
Oh, if we go there at 5 o'clock, nobody's going to be there. I bet my fob still works.
And I can promise you it would be hard to knock the window out. That would be the easiest part, right?
Touch it.
we probably could find a like building somewhere, or we could rent some space down the hall on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
And still do it.
Yeah.
Throw a chair through Realty South. They're right underneath us.
Get a FedEx truck to pull up
Yeah,
there on the
get
curb.
your buddy you met yesterday to pull up.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's not as easy as it looked, Brown.
Yeah.
And I think that ends the argument.
Of whether I'd go through the truck. No, I'd 100% go through that thing he was banging on with the wrench. Yeah.
No, but I think it would end more like that. And Chad is right. That's a F around and find out video, which I talked about. Found that follow a couple of weeks ago. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Chris is right. If you tell them you're only coming over to jump out a window, they might let you.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Yeah, come on.
Chase says, depression, isn't that just a fancy word for feeling bummed out? Brown, Jim, you're ignorant. Other words there.
it's from the office.
Yeah, it's from, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate all your comments and the quick 100 message alert there in the opening segment. Always love seeing that. When we come back to some more Alabama stuff. Remember when Caden Proctor said he got contacted by Iowa? Well, Iowa's AD now saying maybe it's not exactly the rules. We'll file a violation. We'll relive that for you. Talk more Alabama football. Get ready for a big Auburn weekend. Todd Ferman coming up. Andy Staples with us. Ferman to start hour 2. Staples to start hour number 3. Typical Friday show. Later today, we're down at World of Wills. We'll be down there on our video platforms, a live show at 3 o'clock to talk about the World of Wills weekend and some other stuff going on. And then LT is going to be on stage with Mankind.
Mick Foley, yeah.
And Mick Foley.
Yeah, he was also Macho
You
Man.
got both of them to do it?
Yeah.
Cactus Jack, Dude Love. A lot of personalities. 8-time world champion. But not only the wrestler, Mick Foley, which I'm sure that's where everybody's coming out to, best-selling author, guy's done some acting. He's written children's books. Stand-up comedian.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, he really
Chances
is.
he has on flannel today.
Pretty high.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got that Larry the Cable Guy thing where he's got an image he's got to uphold. Lunsford does the most amazing Mankind impersonation I have ever seen, and you can see
Who does
that.
the second best?
Huh?
Who does the second best?
Mankind.
Okay.
Lunsford's better at it than Mick Foley. So you can see that on our social media, TikTok, and also on Twitter.
Is that our location for today? Did you shoot that yesterday?
It is not our location, but I think they shot that yesterday.
Now, would it be like, I don't know, would it be awkward if Lunsford went and went as Mankind again?
Actually, that would be fantastic because people know Mick Foley is going to be there today. If Lunsford just walked around dressed like that, I would love to know how many people stopped and asked for an autograph or
That'd
a photo.
be great.
Is Lunsford available this afternoon?
Yeah.
Would he do it? Lunsford, would you do that? Would you go dressed up like this and just walk around and let us follow you?
If I have to.
Oh,
If I have to.
I have to.
Well, you driving to Disney today?
No, this would be hilarious. I think people.
Can I ask a question? Does he do the sock puppet? Is that a regular thing?
Mr. Sacco.
Sacco.
Mr. Sacco, Jim.
Man, I should watch wrestling
You really should.
more often.
I don't
He's
watch
Mr.
it.
Sacco,
I didn't
too?
just make that up and say, I'm going to put a sock on my hand. And
I
walk around.
actually knew.
By the way, this part of the video is the absolute best right here.
What's on the air right now?
Yeah,
Oh, so is number 12 out of the bag?
Yeah, no. Yesterday was number 12's official day. We can start calling him Tim Melton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's such a good part of the video right there. Yeah, Tim Melton is number 12, by the way.
Damn, so are we trolling our former employer
A little
now?
bit, yeah. That was pretty funny, though.
The one we were just talking about jumping out of a window?
Yeah, kicking the window out and jumping on a FedEx truck.
Yeah, but again, I don't think they'd really care about that.
No.
Yeah.
You think they will care about that?
Sacco, Jim.
Hey, so BJCC, am I supposed to do this right now, or are you just promoting we're going to be there?
Actually, we're going to do Redmont Vodka.
Okay, we've got a live show coming up for the
Yeah.
World of Wills at 3 o'clock today.
I was given in the industry what we call a little extra love for the World of Wills right there. Little. Yeah.
God, you're so industry.
Thank you.
He gave him a little.
Redmont Vodka. Tell us about Redmont Vodka.
I did not have any last night, but the weekend
the best ad ever.
is
Redmont Vodka.
here. No.
So good, I didn't have any last night.
And if you are looking to celebrate a little bit, unwind, pick up a bottle, your local package store, ABC store, including the beverage place, Pink Package. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled, locally owned and operated, available in 22 states. Ask for it by name. It is Red Mont Vodka.
All right. If you're watching in broadcasting schools all over America today, I don't know if that was the best first segment on how to do things, but we had fun doing it. When we come back, we'll try harder. It's TNR today. College football and basketball on the table.
Subscribe and set alerts at Disrupt the Media on YouTube.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Red Mont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Harbin's Outdoors is an award-winning landscape company specializing in installing custom fiberglass pools, landscaping, and hardscaping. Jeremy and his team are a one-stop shop for your pool construction needs. Harbin's does it all, from the install to the final hardscapes around the pool and everything in between. It's beautiful work. You can find them on Instagram at Harbins_outdoors to see it for yourself, or call or text Jeremy directly, 205-300-0718. That's 205-300-0718. At Harbins, you and your home are the center of all that they do.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Red Mont Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
I just got a text from somebody that says Brown is going to die on this hill. He's defending this like he defended his male-female skeleton take a few months ago. That you were going to die on the hill that because of you thought the male and female skeletons were very different because of breast and things.
No. I said you can't tell a male or female apart because it doesn't have body parts.
No. You were saying you could tell male and female skeletons apart back in the day. Remember that argument?
No. The argument was,
Right.
Rockstar, I think, said...
There's a shower thought every time you see a skeleton, majority of people assume it's a male.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you assume it's a male.
Well,
and I
because-
said it's because you don't have the body parts.
Well, I don't know if it's that. I think it's more because there is a correlation between a skeleton and Halloween.
Right.
Does that make any sense? And
Yeah.
it just seems like...
So I sent this to my brother. Now, my brother holds a degree in aerospace engineering, okay, and still works in the engineering field, though he does not build rockets. Literally, my brother is a rocket scientist. So I've sent him this diagram. Do you guys agree with the dimensions of this diagram?
Yep. You're leaving. Did you tell him it is you that is
Nope,
jumping?
because here was it. I'm just going to read you his response.
It's further out than 10 feet, though.
Well, you agreed on that a moment ago. How far do you think it is?
Because, okay, you look at – just think about this. When you open that door on the downstairs, you had that full slab of concrete, which 10
The
feet –
park bench, the picnic table.
10 feet is –
that was on down.
Roughly a basketball goal.
10 feet's about the corner of that TV to the First Take TV, this corner.
Yeah.
So it was probably at least 15, maybe 18 feet.
Let's go 15.
We'll go 15.
All right.
Yeah.
So his response was, is it you, Jim, or Lance? So clearly he knew why we were talking about it. So I'm going to tell him it's you just so he does not shade his answer on behalf of his brother. Are you okay with that?
Well, I mean, he's going to have me as older, less athletic, and a little chunkier
I'm going
than
to
you.
say let's do an average human 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Yeah. Say it doesn't matter who it is.
Okay. I'm going to make him change the 10 to 15.
Yep.
And then he's going to do the calculations on this.
So he's working hard on a Friday.
Clearly not. I might have interrupted around the golf.
Our folks at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedic working hard for you, though, on this Friday. Remember their number, 205-512-3885. 512-3885, but you may be saying, Jim, it's sports medicine. What if I tweaked my back in the yard, not playing sports? What if I tweaked it lifting wood, chopping wood, doing anything that I do around the house, just doing my normal job every day? Doesn't matter. It just says sports medicine right there in the title. But they'll take care of you no matter how you tweaked your shoulder, your knee, your back, your ankle, whatever it is. They'll get your life back on track. That number again, 205-512-3885. And then it's precisionsportsortho.com/2024, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. When I was having my leg pain and little hip and back pain there briefly, remember I was having to stand up and do the show? Where did I go? I went to Precision Sports Medicine right there. And you can do the same thing. They fix me like that. They'll do the same for you. Help you through rehab if you need to. 205-512-3885 or precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Remember when Caden Proctor was one of the many Alabama players that left Tuscaloosa after Nick Saban retired? He went back home to Iowa, where he gave this soundbite at an Iowa basketball game that raised a lot of flags for Alabama fans.
No bridges were burnt, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was so easy for me to pick them when I did enter the transfer portal, because we still have those relationships. And even after I was doing bad in the SEC, and struggling, they hit me up and said, we're proud of you. You're going to get through this. And that's what ultimately helped me with my decision, because they still believed in me.
Yeah, Caden, halfway through that answer was like, I probably shouldn't be saying this. You noticed the way he changed, right?
A level 3 violation submitted and self-reported yesterday by Iowa on that text message from the Iowa coach encouraging Caden Proctor. It's a level 3 violation. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, they turn in hundreds of level 3 violations.
Yeah, I am
every year.
To the point that we have no guardrails on this. Everyone is tampering. Either have no rules, as you said, at all, or make these guys employees.
It's the easiest fix.
Yeah,
right
and
there.
let's put this thing together, because you're running some of the best coaches off.
Like Chip Kelly is apparently wanting to perhaps interview for the Commanders' offensive coordinator, a sitting Big Ten head coach.
Well, he did interview for the Raiders.
Yeah, and didn't get it because I can't remember who Antonio Pierce hired. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury, that's right. But is actively apparently pursuing assistant coaching jobs, coordinator level jobs in the NFL as a sitting Big Ten head coach.
Yeah.
Who's not, I guess he's
on the
hot seat.
He's on the hot seat, yeah.
You go full hot seat?
I don't know if he's on the hot seat.
I don't know what their financial situation is as far as buying him out.
I don't think they've got a collective.
I don't think they've renewed his contract. So I think his days are winding down.
So
I don't think he cares.
He could still save them, though. But
he could.
I mean, I think we've slept on Chip Kelly and the job that he's done at UCLA.
Yeah, he's a 500 coach. He's done a very average job at UCLA.
He improved it every year.
500 coach.
Oh, 100%. At UCLA?
I'm talking about, maybe early on because of the couple I'm just talking about where he is the last 3 or 4 years.
No, he improved it every year.
Every year.
And then last year there were expectations, and he disappointed last year. Was a step in the wrong direction.
No, he was still 8-5.
But he was supposed to be better. He's basically been Gus Malzahn at Auburn.
Yeah.
At a tougher job than
what
Auburn
he did. Now,
was.
to Lance's point, he did start with a 3-9 and 4-8, so he's been better of late. 8-4, 9-4, 8-5. But he's a 500 coach, literally 500. 35 and 34, 26 and 26.
With DTR back last year, right? No, it was 2 years ago. They were supposed to have a better year than they ended up having. And then last year was no DTR, right? They made that change.
I mean, they started 3 different quarterbacks, and the problem was the Pac-12 was the best maybe we've ever seen the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So he still goes 8-5.
But see, I want to talk to you guys about these coaches. I agree with you guys. I'm for whatever we need to do to make college football better. I am for signing contracts, paying out of the TV money to these players so we get out of this NIL, making all these rich boosters having to pay millions upon millions of dollars every year. Let's just tap into the TV money and pay the players out of that. Make them sign contracts. You can sign a 1-year contract or a 2-year contract or a 4-year contract or a 5-year, however long contract you want to sign with these players, you can sign that, but you got to stick to your contract at that point. I'm okay with all of that, but let's stop reporting like these coaches are blood diamond workers when we've got in America, we've got teachers that are making on average $50,000 a year. And I know they get 104 days off for summer vacation, but they take a lot of work home too.
Okay.
They work a lot of
Okay. This is going to be
hold on. There are people there are mothers, single moms who work 2 jobs, who are keeping the lights on and foods on, that are working 16-hour days or 14 hours. There are a lot of people in America that are working that are not making $10 million a year or $5 million a year or $1.3 million a year. So I'm okay. These guys are working harder than they used to. And if they choose to go to the NFL because it's an easier and they get more time with their family and they still make a lot of money, that's fine. But let's stop acting like there's a crisis in the workforce with college coaches who are making millions of dollars, where there are people out there right now who are teachers, who are working in mines right now. We talk to mine workers all the time who get 1 week of vacation. Y'all remember the guy who came up to us at the Alabama 8-day game?
I think maybe one time.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that really do work 2 jobs to keep the freaking lights on.
But I don't think that's the point. I don't think it's working the hours. I think most of these college coaches are used to working the hours. I think it's putting up with the pain-in-the-ass 19-year-old that continues to shake them down.
No, and I'm okay with that. Change the rules and we'll fix all that. But let's stop reporting like these guys are a workforce that are being preyed upon because now they're having to work harder and these guys are always reaching out for money. You're getting paid more money than ever before in college athletics, and part of the process is you're having to deal with all these pains in the asses.
But you get paid for what you're worth. Teachers make $50,000 because there's a lot of people that can be teachers. There's only a couple of guys. It's true.
I disagree with that, but
do you think you could be a teacher?
Not a good one.
Okay.
Not a good one.
Well, I'm not saying. I mean, there's the rub. There's a lot of bad teachers out there.
There's a lot of bad.
There's a lot of bad cops out there.
A lot of bad football coaches.
But coaches that are making $10 million, there's only a few people that can do that in the world.
And listen, I do a horrible job of explaining myself on Twitter. But last night, I started seeing, Brown. I saw Brown talking about Chip Kelly. We got to fix the system and
make players employees. It fix a lot of it.
Yeah, I understand that. But my goodness, we've got to stop acting like these coaches are the most preyed upon workforce in America right now. They are working 16-hour days. Maybe they're working 20-hour days, and they're not going home to their kids or wives. But we've heard coaches always doing that. But my goodness, they're getting paid a lot of money to do that. There are people who are also doing that in America who are not making
I haven't heard that.
Money.
I completely disagree. I think the narrative is totally different. It's just college football has changed.
Oh, yeah, you hear people all the time.
The biggest change is NIL and transfer portal, because either you've got a collective or you don't. And if you don't have a collective, if you've got a good player, he's gone.
Yeah. The conversation is these guys just want to coach ball. They just want to coach ball. So they're going to go back to the NFL where they can just coach ball. Well, that's fine. You go do that. This is America. You've got an opportunity to go do whatever you want to do, but you're getting paid a lot of money to sit here right now in this point in time with these rules and put up with it. There was a time when we put in an 85 scholarship limit when there used to be no, and I'm sure back then they were like, oh no, now we can't recruit 120 players. We've got to adjust. We may have to work harder now to make sure we're recruiting the right players. It has changed forever. We're going to get this in line at some point, but we're acting like we need to start farm aid for these guys because they're working so hard these days.
I haven't heard that.
But even if you are making...
I haven't. Have you heard that, Brown? I've heard maybe they're working a little bit harder. We talk about the hours are more than the NFL, But we've always talked about that. College hours have always been more.
I've heard. I haven't heard it to the extent Jim is presenting.
Jimmy Crackcorn. Mike Loxley explained it best. Coaches, himself including, are working to midnight every night and then being in the office at 7 a.m. the next morning. But with NIL recruiting, signing periods like they are, and the transfer portal, coaches are now having to work to 2 or 3 a.m. before they're going home.
Well, I mean,
I don't know anybody else who works till 2 or 3.
Yeah, they should be upset about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Listen, I chose to work 2 jobs for 15 years for a reason. I did that to better help my family. That's what I chose to do. And I did it because
you love TV.
I chose to do it, right. But it was a grind. But I never wanted anybody to sit there and go, man, poor Jim.
Nobody did.
We need to change the rules, man. We need to change the rules for Jim.
I don't understand if Mike Loxley, regardless of what he's making, if he looks at a system and says, look, I know I make a lot of money, but the governing body has the system screwed up, and we're having to work twice the hours because they've got it screwed up. Mike Loxley can't say that?
No, absolutely he can, and they can fix the system. I'm for fixing the system.
Well, then I don't understand, like, if you're getting on Mike Loxley for saying how long he's got to work.
I'm not getting on Mike Loxley.
Well, I
was using that as an example that Jimmy Crackcorn sent.
So you're getting on Jimmy Crackcorn?
No, I'm not getting on anybody. I'm just saying we've got to stop covering these guys.
Who does Jimmy Crackcorn write for?
We've got to stop covering these guys like there's some workforce that is being preyed upon.
I have never said woe is me for these coaches. I have just said, if I was a college coach, had an opportunity to be a head NFL coach, I would make that transition.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's all I'm saying, because there's so much. Yeah. It's a mess.
I think the coaches are speaking out now because they know there are fixes for this. And here's the ultimate problem. Here's the ultimate problem. In my opinion, now, this is just Ryan Brown's opinion, okay? I'm going to talk about myself in third person for some reason. This is just Ryan Brown's opinion.
I'm more interested, I got to say, on what your brother sends back than your opinion right now, but go ahead.
Well, he's working on it. He actually said, is everyone sober? I said, yes, everyone is sober.
It's dry February.
And you're going to love this. I can do it pretty quickly. Okay. Here's the next thing to listen. I can do it pretty quickly, but work is really hopping right now. He's only texted me 6 times since I said it, but work's hopping right now, here's my opinion, Jim. I think the NCAA knows they could fix this, but the NCAA hates college football. Because the NCAA doesn't make money off college football.
They don't.
And that's why they hate college football. If this were college basketball to this level, they would be fixing the crap out of it because they make money off college basketball.
They've been over backwards to allow the FBI investigation to really result in very few penalties.
Nothing. Why?
Because that would take away from their big money maker.
Because who was under the FBI investigation? Primarily the big programs that they know are big TV sales, right?
That's right.
This don't hurt them. So if they made the money off football, they would fix this. Part of the problem is, one of the issues Mike Loxley has is 2 things. Number one, signing day is right in the middle of what is about to be the college football playoff, first signing day.
It is the main signing day. It is a mess.
And the transfer portal is open right in the middle of what is about to be the college football playoff. You know who doesn't give a rip about that? The NCAA. You know why? They're not making the money off the college football playoff. If they were, they would fix this.
Yep.
This is why guys like Mike Loxley, I'm sure, are saying, why are we even with the NCAA anymore?
Well, I think that's ultimately what's going to happen.
It is what's going to happen.
So if you make these guys employees, you're going to disband from the NCAA.
That's right.
You're going to have a commissioner for whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 leagues. It's going to be a mini NFL. You're going to have salary caps, and then we will have guardrails and we'll see how it goes there.
Yeah, and that's fine. All for change, but these guys just want to coach ball, and that's why so many of them are going to leave and go back to the NFL.
I think that's true. Yeah.
They just want to coach ball. Well, then that's your choice. Go back and coach in the NFL and just go coach ball and be able to go home with your family, and maybe you're only making $4 million, you're not making $8 million. Or maybe you're only making $2 million, you're not making $4 million.
This feels like
your choice.
This feels like when Phil Mickelson openly complained about California taxes, and everybody's like, "Well, Phil Mickelson makes $150 million a year. He needs to shut up." I'm like, well, taxes are still high for him. Like, because he makes $150 million a year because he's got a talent and he's worked hard to do it, he can't complain about high taxes? Like, just because...
Yeah, everybody else bitches about taxes.
Why can't Phil Mickelson? He's paying high taxes.
Everybody bitches about taxes.
Yeah. 100%. Everyone. But let's don't shake keys here and get away from the point.
But I'm just saying, a college football coach, just because they make $10 million, can still say, this system is broken. It's got to be fixed. I'm working my tail off here. I just want to be a football coach, and I can't because the people that are running the system are doing it efficiently.
Yeah, and my point is that, yes, you always work to try to make the sport better, but your salary continues to go up because your responsibilities continue to go up, because the exposure continues to go up, because the money that is being brought in continues to go up. There's a reason why now every coach in the SEC makes more money than the outrageous Nick Saban first contract he got at Alabama.
$4 million a year.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
And every SEC coach, 16 of them make more money than that. So cry me a river that you're having to work 16-hour days. There are people in America who work 16 hours a day, and they don't make six figures.
You give me an example of one coach that has bitched about working more.
It's back to the media that is covering this sport.
It's lazy.
These guys just want to coach ball. We got to fix it so we don't lose all the good coaches to the NFL.
I agree with that, though. You don't agree with that?
Yeah, and again, I said you're going to lose them. But it's not about working more. It's about dealing with a pain-in-the-ass 19-year-old.
But you don't agree. You don't agree that we're going to lose good college football coaches because of a broken system? You don't agree with that?
I think money keeps the good college football coaches here. We'll lose some coaches who are going to go back. The coaches we're losing.
Nick Saban would still be coaching next year. 1,000%.
I kind of agree with Lance. I think
1,000%.
Maybe he would be.
If this system weren't as broken as it is, I do think Nick Saban would probably still be Alabama's head football
Maybe
coach.
he would be. Fix the system. But let's stop covering it like they are farmers who are growing broke because the system is broken.
I kind of liked We Are the World, though. That was a good song. Do you like that song?
That wasn't with the farmers, though.
There is
it's for feeding Africa.
Netflix, the biggest day in pop history, or the day
because
pop.
they had, I think, the trailers has Lionel Richie, all this talent, all these A-listers and stuff like that. And he said, we had one night to get all these people in this studio and record this song. He's all the amount of ego in this room to get this done, and it's a miracle.
I want the solo. No, I want the solo.
No, did they cover Waylon Jennings walking off?
I don't know. It's a documentary.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet?
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
If I remember right, Waylon Jennings was like, I've had it with this. And he just walked off.
Thought about watching.
Yeah. I saw Kevin Steele's interview yesterday on Feinbaum. Whoever said that the chat's moving very fastly. Listen, there has been a lot of obstacles that you have to overcome in college coaching over the years. A lot of them. And sometimes it's been that your school has not been able to offer things under the table that other schools have, or maybe not as much. There have been obstacles to overcome throughout the history of college football, and we will overcome this one at some point. Maybe it's next year, maybe it's 2 years from now, maybe it's 5 years from now. But these guys are doing it because they love to coach, and they're making a ton of money doing it. A ton of money doing it. And if you think 19-year-olds are going to change because we change the rules, then you're not paying attention to 19-year-olds.
No, I'm not saying they're going to change, but they're going to have to.
They're going to be under a contract.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to walk in Nick Saban's office and say, hey, you know what? I know we lost to Michigan. Don't really want to care. Let's not focus on next year. Let's focus on what I'm going to get paid.
It fixes everything. It's such an easy fix right in front of them. Such an easy fix.
But that would come with a salary cap.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it fixes everything.
Yeah. So at that point, do you think we ever have anyone who's paying over the salary cap illegally?
Oh, sure.
Well, there's a penalty, just like there is in any other sport.
Oh, if they get caught.
If you get caught.
Well, I mean, it's going to be you'll get caught because you're going to have to file what you're spending.
Yeah, but
it's going to be taxable income.
What if Lance is the booster that says, "Hey, you got that contract now? I'm going to give you $150,000 extra dollars."
That's going to happen everywhere.
Yeah,
but
which is the way it used to be.
Except they weren't getting paid.
They weren't legally.
But I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Do you think he would have made more off endorsements in New York than he was in Green Bay? If he wanted to. Like if Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know about Aaron Rodgers, but I know what your point is. Let's say Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's probably got some endorsement deals.
Yeah, because he's a quarterback in New York.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, that's so Hess Oil is bad because they had ownership stake. I don't know. Give me
Pilot.
Our Long Island Jaguar. They're the booster. They pay Zach Wilson to say, hi, I'm Zach Wilson for Long Island Jaguar. Come buy a car from me. What's the difference?
And I know everybody was getting paid back in the day, but there are guys now that because everyone literally has to be paid, they think they're worth more than they are. And my example would be if you've got a third edge rusher from Tennessee, but he could be the number one guy at West Virginia, then West Virginia is going to pay him to go over there. He, in the past, would have had no options to jump like that.
The price of paying players has gone way up,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. You never used to have $1 million players.
And the
you
number of
used to have
players.
Trans Am guy and $100 every game or something.
Well, and you guys honestly tell me on an 85-man roster for a legitimate contender in the past, what do you think? How many guys were paid? 15, 20 maybe?
Yeah.
20, 25% of that roster. Now that goes to 100% of the roster has to be paid.
But why the price for a player has gone up is the revenue the schools make has gone up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's capitalism at its finest.
Exactly.
I mean, the more the schools make, the more the player is worth.
Exactly. And
the more the more the league makes, the more the NFL players are worth.
And the coaches are making more now. And
There's
sometimes you
no
have to
doubt.
work a little bit more for the more money you make.
Sometimes.
Approaching the top of the hour, one more segment before we get to Ferman and talk about the big games going on this weekend and some early look at the Super Bowl. The show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Hey, ask about that pre-inflation pricing right now. Call this number, write it down, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform LASIK in 1995 in the state of Alabama. I got the procedure done 20 years ago. I've got 2015 vision better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for the pre-inflation pricing. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, February 2nd through 4th at the BJCC. See classic cars and hot rods, custom trucks and motorcycles. Friday, meet WWE legend Mick Foley. Saturday, meet Dave Kindig from Kindig Designs. And Sunday, meet Jerry Mathers, the Bee from Leave It to Beaver. Plus, feature cars like the Batmobile and General Lee. Kids, meet your favorite costume characters and race Hot Wheels on the free Hot Wheels drag track. Don't miss the Super Show with one-of-a-kind vehicles from across the country. Get your discount tickets today at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get details at worldofwheels.net.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Rhoback. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Rhoback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Rhoback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Rhoback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Rhoback.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Back with you on The Next Round. By the way, a ton of coaching changes in the NFL. Some college names moving on to be offensive coordinators. We'll tell you more about those after I tell you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. I see Greg from Pell City over in the chat room now. So he is back from a beautiful getaway with his wife. He and his wife own the company. They have for over 20 years now. Locally owned is Storm Restoration Roofing. And listen, spring is coming, all those spring storms and stuff. So before they get here, how about getting a roof inspection to find out if your roof is ready to hold up to all the frog stranglers, the gully washers that are about to come our way with the April showers and the rains of summer.
Turd floater.
All it takes, exactly. All it takes is one shingle to get loose, to have water entry points into your house. 205-542-3531, 542-3531 for a free no-cost roof inspection, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. He'll take care of you, by the way. If your roof is just aged out, every so often you got to replace your roof. He'll do that. He'll work hard for you with the insurance company as well. They trust him, but like he's doing a job right now where the insurance company wants to replace the roof 80% of the way. They want to pay 80%. He's fighting for 100%. Greg will fight for you. Put up those billboards. Greg will fight for you.
Call me, Alabama.
205-542-3531 for a free no-cost roof inspection, or Greg from Pell City on Storm Restoration Roofing. Todd Ferman coming up at the top of the hour. Liam Cohen leaving Kentucky again. Going back to the NFL, he's going to Tampa Bay now.
I don't think this guy likes coaching college football.
It's too many hours.
Well, I mean, I'm just beyond our previous discussion. Every time he comes back to college, he finds another NFL job.
He wants to be in the NFL. I mean, this is a guy that was under McVay.
Real question. You think he rents or buys every time in Lexington?
He owns more houses in Lexington.
Or does he just stay in the hotel and not unpack?
I would probably go that route. This is not a surprise, though.
Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator with the Raiders. And Chip Kelly is, at least in the conversation, for the Commanders. And Ryan Grubb, as we started the show off, is in the conversation for the Seattle Seahawks. So some college talent. What always catches everybody's attention is when Jeff Hafley leaves head coaching Boston College, Power 4, and goes and takes a coordinator job. And Chip Kelly, who is a head coach at UCLA, now in a Big Ten, not even one of the, not in the Power lowercase Power 4. He's in capital Power 4, the Big Ten, that he may leave a head coaching job to go on. So that move is going on. What did happen yesterday that surprised everybody was that Bill Belichick got left out of the coaching cycle, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday on the show.
Belichick and Vrabel, I think, are the two biggest surprises. I think a lot of people thought Vrabel would easily get another head coaching job.
Yeah, I got a thought on that. I've got this coming up before downs. If you guys want to wait or you want to go to it now, it's totally up to you.
We can wait. I did want to go back. Did Liam Cohen was brought in to get that offense going back again? What would you give the offensive grade for Kentucky?
Oh, a C-.
I think so too. Like,
if that.
Yeah, every time he's been there, it's been sort of flat to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, since Stoops has been there, it's been flat, and that's why I brought that up, Jim. Like, I don't know what he's got to do to get that offense going. I don't know if it's a Stoops problem, if it's a Kentucky problem, if it's a personnel. I don't know. But he has never been able to have a good enough offense to pair with that defense to do anything. And Cohen was brought in to fix that, and I just don't think he did.
Brett is in New Mexico before we get to the top of the hour, and Todd Ferman, one of the great truck drivers in America who listens to us. Hey, Brett, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good.
All right, look, Lance, back off Jim's stance about the deal with the coaches, okay? They choose that job, just like I choose to be a truck driver. And every truck driver bitches about driving in Atlanta, which I'm in right now. They bitch about driving in L.A. It's the life you choose. And I agree with Jim. You got, they got to deal with it. So what?
But Brett, what I'm saying is I haven't heard any of the coaches bitch about hours. I haven't heard one coach bitch about the hours.
No, they don't bitch about the hours, but, what ultimately pushed Nick out the door? Having to deal with all this crazy, stupid shit. There's no guardrails on the portal or NIL.
But
that's why Chip Kelly's wanting to go back to the NFL.
But Brett, let me ask you, if there were a solution to Atlanta traffic that is a pretty obvious solution, wouldn't you as a truck driver complain and say, why do they not just do that? It would make my life so much easier.
Well, yeah, but okay, you guys, all right. Y'all don't drive a lot on the East Coast. The New Jersey Turnpike, when you get to about 50 miles up the New Jersey Turnpike coming from Delaware, it splits to 6 lanes. The 3 inside lanes are cars only.
Oh, wow.
The 3 outside lanes are trucks, buses, and cars.
And I bet
Now,
everybody loves that.
No, they don't, because you get cars in the damn truck lane.
Well, they
when
oughta-
you've got
yeah.
your own 3 lanes.
Yeah, that's dumb on their part. The cars shouldn't be able to be in the truck lane. You guys ought to have your lanes, and we ought to have ours. That'd be a phenomenal way. You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and that in Atlanta, Nashville, L.A., that would – I mean, we're restricted in a lot of places, like, 3-lane highway. You can only be in the right lane or the middle lane, and that's fine. But, it's crazy and it's stupid, and it's the world we live in, and that's just the way it's going to be until somebody smarter than us comes along and fixes it.
Yeah, Nick Saban's working on that,
Brett.
Brett. Thank you for the phone call. And again, don't get me wrong, we should fix the system.
Sure.
Yeah, and for highways, I think these loops around big cities were initially the fix. And then cities continue to grow, and then the loops become just as crowded as going through downtown.
The loops are in the city at that point, yeah.
Exactly. So it becomes a problem. You fix a problem, and then new problems crop up. Todd Ferman joins us next. We'll talk about the big basketball weekend coming up. And maybe a little look ahead to, I don't know, is this the day he usually has some props, or is that next week?
He'll get more props next week, won't he, Lance? The actual props will be out next week.
Oh, yeah. There's some props. I've seen some trickle out now. But you will have, by this time next week, you will have a book. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of props.
I think we should do that with him next Friday.
So we'll talk to Ferman coming up in the next segment. The show being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse. This is so important, so listen to this, because Valentine's Day is coming up. And if you're a guy, usually we're not very good with these kind of holidays. Here's Lance to save your butt.
No, so located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Center's Woodhouse Day Spa. If you've never been by there before, it's an amazing place. They've got a brand new build on, some renovations they did up there, so you can actually rent private rooms up there for whatever your event is. If you're a bridal shower, a bachelorette party, whatever it is, call Stuart and the guys, and they can get you hooked up on that. But if you're looking for a great gift for Valentine's, choose the gift of luxury. Over 70 options on their menu, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Gift card, simple solution. Buy them 24/7 online, or stop by, see Stuart and the fine folks right there at the Summit Shopping Centers, and tell them the next round sent you.
Follow Sean Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Are you ready for a winning season in your finances? Legacy Credit Union is bringing you a slam dunk deal on their credit cards. Apply for their balance transfer and pay zero balance transfer fees. That's right, there is no balance transfer fees, and they're offering a jaw-dropping 2.99% APR for the first 6 months. Whether you're looking to clear the cord of those holiday expenses or just wanting to streamline your finances, apply online today, LegacyCreditUnion.com. Annual percentage rate, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Todd Ferman in just a second. I do want to remind you that the Birmingham Squadron have a couple of games this weekend. An opportunity to get out and enjoy the best of the Squadron. Saturday night, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Legacy Arena, HBCU night at Legacy Arena. The most anticipated, highest attended Squadron game of the year, so you'll get a juiced atmosphere. And the bucket hats, they are given to the first 1,000 fans in attendance tomorrow night for the Squadron, 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, flip around and play the Motor City Cruise again at 4 o'clock at Legacy Arena. It's sneakerhead night, dressed in your best kicks, and the custom Squadron shoelaces to the first 1,000 fans. Always $5 beer in the chill zone. There with the Birmingham Squadron. Buy the tickets at the door, Legacy Arena, or birminghamsquadron.com, or by calling 205-719-0850 for the Birmingham Squadron.
All right, Todd Ferman is co-founder of BetTheBoardPodcast.com, BetTheBoardPodcast.com, former oddsmaker Caesar's Palace, at Todd Ferman on Twitter, and with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Ferman? How are you today?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. NASCAR season starts in earnest Sunday out on the West Coast at the non-points paying race at the LA Coliseum for the Busch Clash. A little Daytona in 2 weeks, but apparently there's a big football game, I've been told, a week from Sunday as well.
Martin Truex Jr. on the short course. Go with it.
Would you say that is your, I mean, I don't want to paint you in a box, but you're really good on the NASCAR stuff.
NASCAR typically for us has been one of our higher ROI sports from a betting perspective. Now it's significantly more difficult to try and bet the same amounts on NASCAR compared to college football and the NFL, but it is an arena where we have done well in the past. I know the sport continues to make rules modifications, which always puts us a little bit behind the eight ball early in the year. But it's a lot of fun to bet, and let me tell you, the sweat's significantly different trying to dodge those late race cautions than it is the 2-minute offense with a team sneaking in the back door with an SEC non-conference game.
Do you have a play on the Busch Clash, the Clash at the Coliseum?
Took a couple of long shots in the race this weekend. Have a piece of Bubba Wallace north of 20-1 there. Austin Dillon in that 35-1 range. And this is a race where we'll get those heat races on Saturday that'll give us a much better indication. So you try and lock up a little bit of that long shot value early, which will allow you to come over the top with a favorite or two that qualifies in good position before Sunday's race.
Yeah, you got to have somebody who doesn't mind pushing somebody out of the way. In this race because the track's so small. So
and it's dirt. Yeah, I mean,
no, it's pavement.
Oh, is it pavement? Oh, that's right. Bristol's the dirt. Yeah.
It's a good old-fashioned bull ring there, and all you want to try and do is come out of there with a victory or not make season-long enemies. So Dunaway is spot on with his analysis here, and some drivers have a lot more experience on this type of track type than others.
Furman absolutely curb stomped in the conference championship games, and I think coaching really cost me. I didn't understand. Todd Monken's a name we really haven't mentioned much because they've had a lot of success with this Baltimore offense, but how you only run the ball 16 times against the Chiefs and put all that pressure on Lamar Jackson, I just didn't really get the play calling.
It is a great question and one that I wish I had answers to, quite frankly, because when you look at the way the Ravens came out and attack early, they wanted to make Lamar Jackson a drop-back passer. You get 6 combined carries between Gus Edwards and Justice Hill against a team that had been pushed around in the trenches against heavy sets the week before in the Buffalo Bills, and we didn't even see designed runs for Lamar Jackson. The rushing attempts are a little bit misleading because it was more him scrambling, trying to dodge pressure, and while it's not quite an apples-to-apples comparison, the one game that I come back back to in the college ranks that does have, Todd Monken as the connecting fiber there, is the way that Georgia chose to attack Alabama in the SEC title game. They come out in the opening drive. Carson Beck has a tremendous amount of success throwing the football against the Alabama defense, and Georgia just decided, you know what, we're not going to utilize that approach. We're going to try and run the ball into loaded boxes and hope that's going to be enough to get us across the finish line. Quite frankly, LT, if Zay Flowers gets into the end zone with that touchdown, midway through the third quarter, I think Baltimore finds a way to win that football game because defensively they had made the proper adjustments, completely clamped down on Kansas City. But I would love to know what Monken, Coach Harbaugh, and company were thinking with the way they chose to come out and attack Kansas City from start to finish.
Furman is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. So one thing you guys do is you got like your power rankings, and I assume you could correct me if I'm wrong here, Furman, because my question hinges on whether this is right or wrong. To come up with a power ranking, I mean, you guys just kind of evaluate each position, right? Like position by position for the 49ers.
It's very interesting because there are a couple ways to skin a cat when you're looking at developing power ratings. You do have player values for a lot of the folks that'll impact numbers in the NFL. So you have a great idea in terms of which quarterbacks are worth 3 points, which are worth 7, in some cases even more, based on the backup situations. So you kind of play the plug-and-play type model, but you look at a lot of the underlying numbers, you look at the counting stats, and you come up with a mathematical equation that has you landing on a certain spot. So when you look at a game like this, it's been a fluid situation because Kansas City's power number right now going into Super Bowl is the highest that it's been arguably since the beginning of the season, is the way the betting market is treating them. Meanwhile, the 49ers number has come down considerably given some of those improbable finishes in each of the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. So you never want to over-adjust for current form. But this game, for example, if we were playing on Christmas, the same Christmas day where we saw the 49ers lose outright to the Ravens as nearly a touchdown favorite and the Chiefs lose outright as a double-digit favorite to the Raiders, you'd be looking at the 49ers in that 4.5, 5 range on a neutral field.
So Cam Newton yesterday said Brock Purdy's maybe the 10th best player on the San Francisco roster, and people were making a big deal about it. I'm like, I don't even think that's that controversial a statement. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Dre Greenlaw, Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Debo Samuel. I mean, it's
George Kittle.
George Kittle is Brendan. It's not that hard to get 10 guys that are probably better than Brock Purdy. I don't think that's that controversial statement, is it?
It's not, but from a point spread perspective, you would be making a much bigger adjustment if Brock Purdy was out of the game going to Sam Darnold compared to Fred Warner missing or Dre Greenlaw. I mean, we saw some prominent national personalities try and make Debo Samuel worth more than a field goal, which you got to pump the brakes a little bit. I understand what he adds from a dimension and a unique creative flexibility standpoint for Kyle Shanahan, but the quarterback is the catalyst in all of this. But if you're looking from a pure talent perspective, ranking by position, I don't think it's that big a hot take whatsoever for Brock Purdy, where he ranks amongst NFL quarterbacks compared to a lot of the other difference makers on this particular roster.
I like the way Seth thinks over in our chat room. He puts 100 down on Sam Darnold as Super Bowl MVP and then hopes for an injury maybe before even the game gets out there.
Blood sport for him.
Here's the thing for Seth. He'd be working against a little bit of history. We have not had a USC alum ever win a Super Bowl at the quarterback position, so we would have to try and break from tradition. Now, it may make my wife thrilled as a proud USC alum if Sam Darnold came in to save the day, but I'm not sure that gives the 49ers the best path to success if Purdy goes down in the opening series and Darnold has to come in to bail them out.
Hey, dude, really, how do you bet college basketball? Because
very carefully,
because I'm sitting here. The biggest lock of the week for me, my biggest lock of the week was Tennessee at home to South Carolina. They lose the dang game outright, and I mean I know I wasn't getting a lot of juice, but I put it in a parlay with some other points that I got right, but I moneyline Tennessee, which was the one sure thing that gave me just a little bit more, and I lose that one. And then last night, with my friends at mybookie.ag, I'm sitting there, and there is no way Wisconsin's going to lose on the road to Nebraska, and they're up 16. How do you
18.
bet? They're up 18. How do you bet basketball? These road games, if you're a ranked team, just seem like they're not even trying, man.
It's always a delicate landmine for some of these teams when they go on the road, especially teams inside the top 5, top 10. We saw interesting line movement between the Wisconsin-Nebraska game yesterday. The Badgers opened 1.5. You saw professional money come in on the dog, took it to Nebraska -1, and there was a little bit of buyback before before tip-off, and you thought watching that first half that it was going to be a runaway freight train for Wisconsin. So whatever Coach Hoiberg said to his bunch in the locker room to get that team to rally and then hold on for dear life in overtime, typically where the inferior team goes to die, pretty impressive. But in terms of betting moneyline parlays, we have a term for that we used to use behind the counter Dunaway, and we called those bridge jumper parlays because people walk up to the window on a Saturday, they want to take 4 or 5 double-digit favorites, and they're simple song and a dance. What could possibly go wrong with a superior team on paper losing games? It happens all the time in college hoops. It happens, quite frankly, in college football on a regular basis as well. So you have to err on the side of caution, do your due diligence, and make sure that you at least like some of these bigger favorites to potentially cover the number rather than thinking you can add a few cents to a parlay by just tacking on a 15 or 16-point favorite.
Hey, listen, you want a bridge jumper. Imagine last night when I find out LeBron and AD are not going to play for the Lakers.
Easy
free leg with the Boston Celtics minus 16. Hopefully you tie that into everything as well. A game where I'm not sure they led after the first 2 minutes in that contest.
And I take the Celtics, giving 16.5 is what I got it at.
Good
and
Lord.
I think to myself, what an easy night this is going to be. And they lose the game outright.
Ferman said they didn't lead after the 2 minute mark.
How do you do this?
That was one of the biggest numbers that I'd seen at halftime for an NBA game. When you look, the Celtics were a 15.5-point favorite, chasing, right around a 14 or 15-point deficit at the break. And I think the closest they got in the second half was within 9. They looked like they were out to lunch from start to finish. But look, Dunaway, all you're doing here is creating excellent marketing opportunities for the folks at mybookie.ag. They can come up with the Fade Dunaway parlay on a nightly basis, and you will have the same prominent placement on their website that I imagine the Fade LeBron parlay will have on DraftKings now that he's forged a partnership to try and talk the NFL with them going forward.
Yeah, from that 15.5 at halftime was insane. I mean, that's eight minutes of basketball, basically. But I wanted to go back to the NFC Championship game because something you never see is a team down 17 that takes a double-digit lead, minus 7.5, and ends up not covering. And again, I had San Francisco. What I could not believe, and I bought a full point, which I never do, I cannot believe Dan Campbell, not only some of the in-game decisions, but when he had 4th down on that final drive, instead of kicking the 3, he goes for the touchdown.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you having the 49ers minus 7 or anything around there was a bad beat, knowing that they were outside the number for what felt like about 37 seconds of game time. Now, from an optimal game standpoint and strategy position, Dan Campbell didn't do anything right in the final minutes of that contest because most likely the best scenario to give them an opportunity to get the ball back for the second score would have been to kick a field goal when Sam Laporta went out of bounds right around the 11-yard line. Instead, Campbell elects to burn that time out running the football on 3rd down. And to your point, LT, kick the field goal on 4th to at least give yourself an opportunity should that fall, if that ball comes incomplete, the game's over. So, yeah, Dan Campbell didn't do a whole heck of a lot from start to finish there from an optimal game strategy standpoint, at least in the final quarter, to get you where you needed to go. But it is extremely rare, to your point, that an NFL team can be facing a 17-point deficit at any juncture of the game, find themselves outside the number, only to have bettors see their guts get ripped out with a backdoor touchdown from the dog chasing.
Okay, I will not take any heat for this, though. I did not bet Nick Dunlap in his first tournament as a professional. But I watched him yesterday, and he's +4. He's tied for 77th, which I think is last place. A little reality check, I guess, when you're not the amateur playing for the win and you're playing for money out there.
Yeah, it's a lot more pressure, especially when you can go out there and dance between the raindrops at a price of 300 to 1 thereabouts. When he wins his first tournament, you look at the Pebble and the way the course is played. Going to be interesting to see what the weather elements look like. But clearly right now a relatively short favorite in Patrick Cantlay, who goes out there and kind of finishes with a pretty strong performance. But look, some familiar names up there. And who knew the Mad Frenchman and Matthew Pavon may have a chance to win yet another tournament. But should be a lot of fun if the weather holds off for us in the Monterey Peninsula to give us some good golf throughout the course of the weekend, knowing that we have 80 players in a no-cut field. So I think we'll have a lot of comers and goers throughout the next 3 rounds.
And by the way, Liv has their season opener in Mexico. So half the field has fill in the blank.
I mean, look, we've all been to Mexico. We've all drank the water in the past. Montezuma's revenge makes it tough to go out there and play a full 18. But, maybe this is the PGA folks going down there trying to contaminate the food and water supply, and we have a true war amongst golfers and two competing factions right now.
We're going to find out the PGA is in bed with the cartel.
Yeah.
hey, whatever it takes to get where you need to go to get this deal across the finish line with the $3 billion or whatever's been ponied up to try and give some of the PGA Tour players a little bit of equity in their product.
All right, Todd Ferman on Twitter at Todd Ferman, and you can get all the games. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. That is BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Ferman, thank you very much for the time.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Enjoy the great slate of college basketball on Saturday. Dunaway, I'm sure you'll find plenty of fades and can't wait to come up with a little bit more concrete, actionable stuff for us next week with the Super Bowl on tap.
Money line on all the road teams in the top 10 matchups. I'm Duke, Houston, and Tennessee. That's my play tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, LT, you may want to give out all three the opposite way to your clients. I'm guaranteed there's a 2-1 in that, if not a 3-0.
See you, Ferman. Thank you. JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline is where you found Ferman. To follow up with that story, no joke, the Liv is playing in Mexico and half the field has a stomach issue.
Yeah,
they don't have any WDs yet, but
yeah,
there's a chance.
But they do have some
yes.
some runoff from the course.
Yes, a few pitch outs.
Yeah. Tell us more about Johnston RV Center. It's RV showtime, isn't it?
It is RV Showtime, Jimmy Dunaway, and you can see it right there on the on-lot RV show in the Decatur location, I-65, exit 334 in Decatur. Their other location might be closer to you, 304 in Coleman off of I-65. But that big RV show going on right now at the Decatur light. So, first of all, you're going to get great deals, all right, just because it's Johnston RV Center. Even better deals because it's RV show pricing. And we've got even a better deal for you. If you'll just RSVP by going to this website, nextroundlive.com, or excuse me, johnstonrvcenter.com. Just read the copyright. It's right there in front of you. johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR. johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR. RSVP up to $1,000 in additional incentives. So we're talking about massive money savings and bonuses for you just by going to johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman. The RV show pricing at 334 in Decatur and always online, johnstonrvcenter.com. Throw in that /TNR.
I had to check and see if you had a teleprompter for a second.
Yeah.
By the way, Jay says, I saw the signs for the RV show there at Johnston RV heading into Decatur's office this morning. So maybe we should let Jace do the spot on Monday.
He would have been better than that.
Seth says, what is the cutoff in golf for taking home money? Well, this weekend, it's one of those great fields where there is no cut. So Nick Dunlap will take home money just for being there.
Anybody that makes the cut makes a check. But to Dunaway's point, in some of these signature events, I think half the signature events, there is no cut.
Yep.
So just showing up, he's already made a check. I don't know what I'd have to see what last place would pay if he finished last, but it's good money.
By the way, his Adidas contract is going to be his biggest moneymaker this weekend, but he'll make money this weekend. And I wasn't sliding on his decision to go pro. It was the right thing to do. I was just watching him yesterday, and at one point in the broadcast, they told a story on how Nick had told Justin Thomas that he was dragging. That it just had been a lot in the last 2 weeks, deciding to go pro and the decision after winning and all the interviews and blah, 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 and all the stuff he's been having to do to get out here and finally play golf. He was tired, and he was like, just wait, man.
Yeah.
It's a job now.
Well,
it's a job.
And I was watching some of that and on the coverage earlier. By the way, 80th place pays $32,000, so that's why he would make finishing dead last in this event.
Will that cover his Airbnb?
Oh, probably not. $32,000, you operate at a loss just on that. Now you've obviously got the the sponsorship and all that.
Yeah, but let me ask you about did he grab a permanent caddy already, or does he work into that?
I don't know. Hunter Hamrick that played at Alabama caddied for him in the previous event, but I don't think he wanted to do that permanently. I'd need to look who was caddying for him yesterday. Yeah. But I was watching them on the telecast, and they were talking about that yesterday. They were like, they even said it. They're like, this kid played at Alabama where you go play a tournament and then you go back and do some class and get some days off. He's like, he's going to have to adjust to there is no day off now. It is constant. You go from this tournament to this tournament to this tournament. And you're playing pro-ams and practice rounds and all of that. It's just a different world.
If you were 30 years old and wanted to be a caddy, would you shoot him a DM?
Yeah,
tell him why you could be his caddy?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, do you know what kind of money you would make on that?
Well, I mean, if he ends up winning.
Well, I mean, so a normal caddy cut
is 10%, right?
7%, right?
It depends. If you some of them structure it where if it's a major, if I win a major, you get X amount. If I win, you get X amount. A top 10 X percentage or just making the cut X percentage.
So you build in some incentives.
Yeah. I mean, so I win, everybody wins, right? I think $1.2 million was the prize money for the tournament he won, where he didn't get the prize money.
Yep.
You would have walked away with 120 grand for one week of work.
For
that
4
ain't
days.
bad.
Yeah. 1 week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy job either, but still, those high-end guys make a lot of money.
If you're with the right guy.
Yeah.
It's good living.
I mean,
what did the
I think Steve Williams,
yeah,
who was Tiger's caddy for most of Tiger's majors, I think he had him on $1 million salary, if I'm not mistaken.
So flat fee.
Yeah, I think he was a flat fee $1 million guy.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like a bad deal for Stevie.
Well, but he also, if you'll remember, he also had endorsements. I mean, that was crazy, but he was so visible because Tiger was so visible that he had, I think, a endorsement deal with STP because he was also a big stock car racer.
What do you think his net worth is?
Who's Steve Williams?
Yeah.
Probably 10, 15 million.
20 million.
20 million.
Wow.
For a caddy. And Tiger didn't.
And he was a dick.
He was. Well, he had to be. I mean, I hate to say that, but, to be with Tiger, there was so much going on around him.
Yeah.
Tiger didn't want to be the bad guy. He had to be.
That's right. He got paid.
That's right. Be the bad guy.
He didn't want to just carry clubs. He wanted to coach ball and make his money there.
Oh, good grief.
When we come back, we got 4 downs later in this show. We still have Andy Staples, who will join us as we continue to see college coaches leave and go back to the NFL. We'll talk about the big basketball weekend when we come back. Auburn on the road at Ole Miss, the Auburn woes. Can they get over some of these historic numbers now of beating good teams on the road? That's the next big test for Bruce's team. Does it start tomorrow? We'll talk about that as we continue. The show being brought to you by the University of Montevallo. Wonderful place for your son or daughter to go to school. All I ask you to do is go to montevallo.edu and check out the website, schedule an in-person tour. But you get a lot of details just on the website about what Montevallo can do for you and why you belong at Montevallo. Your son or daughter may want to continue their athletic career. 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports and so much more. Check it out, montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, the fit specialist helps you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have a high arch or flat feet, Red Wing has comfort solutions for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Listen, I'm in a great mood, but I just have to take the stories as they come, right?
Okay.
I am how would you describe me, Rockstar, as a soccer fan? I am a passing soccer fan.
Fair weather.
I dabble in soccer.
I think you pretend to care about it because you know people like it and you don't want us to get criticism.
No, I watch it sometimes.
When's the last game you watched?
He watches on Thanksgiving Day.
You don't watch it.
No, I do watch it sometimes. Occasionally on Sunday mornings or Saturday mornings, especially in the summer, I'll catch it early. I used to like it when it was on USA, but it's always on, is it Peacock now? That I get it streaming, so it's there. One of our favorite places. If you go Sunday morning early enough, you catch the Arsenal fans there watching, or the Liverpool fans. I forget which red team.
Yeah, but when you've been on there on Sunday morning, do you even glance at the TV?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know any of their chants, but I'll do it. So I've got some gear for Tottenham. That's the team I cheer for. I wore it the other day. They won later that day 3-2 against a team I can't pronounce all their names. So I'm a passing soccer fan. But here is the problem with soccer people when it comes to people like me.
Now you're going to upset them.
Lindsey Horan, who is the captain now of the U.S. women's national team, in an exclusive interview with The Athletic, talking about the American fans. Most of them aren't smart. They don't really understand the game. And that is the problem with soccer people to
I kind of agree.
fans.
Yeah.
Stop telling us we don't understand the game. Just let us cheer for the American flag, or let us cheer for whatever team we want to cheer for. Maybe we don't understand the game. We just want to cheer. We understand when the ball goes through and just into the goal, it's 1 point, and if we've got more points than the other team, we win. Sometimes we all hang out for 3 hours and it's a draw, and that's pretty boring.
Yeah.
But we like to go cheer. We like to drink beer.
This reminds me of you. We never got to this on the show, but you brought up that a lot of the professional tennis players have been out of shape and bitching about the Australian Open, allowing an open bar. There was too much noise
on one of the courts.
On one of the courts, and they were allowing the fans to come back in during play instead of making them wait. Now, I just made the point to you, like, this day and age, when people are having to make choices where they spend their money, the one thing you don't want to do is bitch about the fans having a good time.
Right. This was Justin Thomas being a poon.
Yeah,
like somebody took a picture, said something.
Yeah, and he had him run off the course. So you don't do that, man. I mean,
and what is the most popular golf hole for people right now to go
16th at Phoenix.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's really made that tournament, in my opinion.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's why you watch.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons you watch, and it's a party, and the players embrace it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And, I mean, I think you just want to make it as good for the fans as you possibly can. Ask college football right now. They are breaking their back to make the fan experience the best it can be, so people keep coming, and this is what will run people off from that sport.
And listen, I admit, I don't understand the game.
Oh, I don't know anything
watch you
about
run
it.
up and down.
Yeah.
I think I know when you're off sides, but it's always a 50-50 call. But I like to cheer. I like to drink beer. I like it when it's the countries playing each other. I like the World Cup when it's country versus country. By the way, got a better than the Olympic new sport coming up right after LT tells us about Harbin's.
A new Olympic sport?
Better than the Olympics.
Okay.
This is out news today. You guys are going to be all in on this.
Okay, I'm in.
Well, I mean, it's not a high bar to top the Olympics.
Does it involve somebody on death row trying to play for their life? Because Lance is always
I'm
about
telling
that.
you give me.
It is so close.
Okay, all right. I can't wait to hear this. Let's go.
Harbin's Outdoors, a winning landscape company specializing in installing custom fiberglass pools, landscaping, hardscaping. Jeremy and his team, one-stop shop for your pool construction needs. You see Bullet and Chili playing in my backyard that Harbin's put together just a couple of months ago. They're loving it. Harbin's does it all, from the install to the lighting, final hardscapes around the pool, the backyard, everything in between. Beautiful work. You can find them on Instagram at Harbins_outdoors. See it for yourself or call or text Jeremy directly, 205-300-0718. That's 205-300-0718.
Can I get Lunsford's mic real quick? Lunsford, like what caused Hulk to be Hulk? What are some of your Marvel characters? What are some of the people or DC characters?
Gold. Go ahead.
What caused them
I'll
to
tap out.
all of a sudden be things like that?
Well, the Hulk had an accident with gamma radiation that turned him into the Hulk.
He gets pissed.
No, but he got the radiation first, and then correct me if I'm wrong. Was his first Hulk moment when he blew a tire out in the rain and he got pissed off because he couldn't change his tire?
Honestly, don't remember that.
I think that's right.
Gamma radiation, as everyone's saying. Peter Thiel and a bunch of investors, and the first one will happen in 2025. It's called the Enhanced Games, where everybody who competes will be using performance-enhancing drugs.
Oh, I'm all in on this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Steroid-juiced gymnastics, track and field.
Absolutely.
All the sports.
This is American Gladiator.
Absolutely. And I used to love American Gladiator, didn't you?
I mean, I liked it. Have you seen the documentary yet?
I have not. I've
pretty
been
good.
wanting to watch it. Yeah.
So these are people, I'm sure you'll sign waivers that saying we're not responsible for you juicing and sticking things in your body, but basically we're going to have no rules.
Yeah,
you take any drug you want, and they've got weightlifting and all sorts, including combat sports.
And you're going to have all these guys out there on roid rage, and they're going to be like,
I don't know what combat sports are, but it's listed as one of the categories.
Yeah.
Combat
So
sports.
when is this?
2025.
And where's it going to be on?
I don't know yet. I don't know if they have a TV partner.
CW. I don't know.
Yeah, it does sound very CW. Are they playing in America? Do you know that?
I don't know where the games are.
Are we going to have like national?
I love the question.
Well, not only brought it up.
I think it was just announced yesterday that they were doing it. They're probably still bidding out television
Are
contracts.
there going to be national teams like the U.S. and France and Germany?
It says it will be hosted like the Olympic Games, so it'll be different countries.
Because this used to be Germany. This is what Germany did.
It used to be East Germany when I was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So for those of you that don't remember, Germany, they used to have a little wall right there.
That's right.
And it separated East and West. And when East would show up at the Olympics, the women talk like men and had muscles.
Dude looks like a lady.
Yeah, and I mean they were good too. Like, and everybody knew they were juicing. So this puts everybody on equal playing field.
That's
I
right.
like
Everybody can juice.
Yeah, I like this. Would you watch it?
More
than the Olympics. Like the Olympics don't do a whole lot for me.
Yeah, this doesn't do much for me either.
Really?
Nah.
More than the Olympics. I mean, I can't swear that I watch it. Some of it would depend on what time of day it's on and when they play.
Oh, it's prime time, I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, the Olympics, like sometimes I'll watch some of the swimming on the Olympics. I kind of like that.
None of the gymnastics?
The gymnastics do nothing for me.
Figure skating?
Oh, even less.
Downhill?
I like the downhill skiing in the Winter Olympics. Yeah, I do like that sometimes.
Yeah, they never wipe out, though.
Yeah.
It does seem like the skis used to be skinnier or something. The technology wasn't as good. Maybe the slope wasn't as good. It does seem like they crashed a lot more.
Yeah, that would be the highest rated, I think, event in Olympics if you knew it was like a 50% success rate of getting downhill.
I think so.
Because remember the beginning of Worldwide Sports, the dude that just had a complete garage
agony of defeat. Yeah, he's into the.
That was on the ski jump.
Into the netting. Yeah. No, you're right. I think like if they maybe if they released a bear on the track, right? It's like you cover at a curve, there's a bear out there.
I think that's what they're doing in an enhanced game. He'll be in human form, but he'll be juiced up like a bear.
Death row.
See, I thought we'd get there at some point.
Now, here's what you got. So you've got 2 years on death row. You can choose to be in this event or not. If you make it downhill, we're going to give $100,000 to your family, any family member you want.
So I'm on death row?
Yeah, you're on death row.
Do I get out of prison?
No, but you got $100,000 to your kid that you're not going to be able to provide for anymore. Right. All you've got to do is we've got on this course there are 4 live landmines, and you don't know where they're going to be.
So, am I skiing?
Oh yeah.
So I'm skiing downhill.
Yeah.
And there's going to be landmine. If I hit the landmine, I'm dead either way, but I don't get the 100,000.
Replay too. Close up on that, Charles. Ooh.
Yeah.
Was that an actual landmine?
But I would be all in on this.
So let me ask you this though, because then you want to go last because if 3 of the 4 landmines have gone off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the luck of the draw at that point.
Well, they reload the course.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask.
You could reload the course.
You'd have to. Show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, and then we'll jump in. Got a couple of questions for you. One of them involving Colorado and college football after you give me Hemphill.
Yeah, 229-2090, 205-229-2090. That's the number you need to call. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys. Hard to stop a train, number that I called just a couple of weeks ago for my mom. It seems like I call that number all the time. But make sure you're HVAC, ready to keep up with this changing weather. Since 1954, the name that Birmingham has trusted for all of their heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, Hemphill Services. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
All right, so here we go. Colorado's schedule for this upcoming year. Remember, they're in the Big 12 now. Deion Sanders, I think the over-under I saw, the early one was 4.5 for wins.
That's
this year.
about right.
And I think I would take the over.
Were they
with this
2.5
schedule.
going into this year?
They were 2.5 this year.
So they've gone up a couple?
Yeah, 4.5. Here's the schedule. Home to North Dakota State.
That is not a gimme win.
It is not.
Now, they're not what they once were, Jim. I think they actually missed the playoffs this year, didn't they?
They did not. They were in the Final Four.
Ooh, I would take the
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'll take the under 4.5 right now.
You would take under 4.5 right now?
Yep.
North Dakota State at Nebraska.
Tough game, payback, too.
At Colorado State.
Another payback game.
Yes. Home to Baylor. At UCF. Home to Kansas State. At Arizona. Home to Cincinnati. At Texas Tech. Home to Utah. At Kansas, home to Oklahoma State.
That is a tough finish. The month of November is tough on them.
Now, keep in mind their schedule last year in the Pac-12. You had the Nebraska, you had the Colorado State, the North Dakota State game was TCU, and then you had a really tough Pac-12. I mean, that was a tough schedule last year. So you would take under the 4.5.
I would.
All right,
I just don't know if the offensive line is going to be that improved.
I've got them at 5 wins.
Give me the wins you feel good about.
I mean, really only North Dakota State, but I don't know how good I feel about that.
I don't feel great about North Dakota State. I do think they get Colorado State this year. I think they get.
I mean, Colorado State should have beaten them this year.
I think they get Arizona this year, and then I think they find 2 or 3. But they're
you got
they're not a
2
lot.
road games.
They're not a lot of gimmies. No, you're right.
I'm just telling you, man. That month of November at Texas Tech is a difficult place to play, and it'll be their first time they've ever gone there. Utah is really, is a consistent program. They should be good. At Kansas, that's going to be at Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas, I think that was going to be a pretty solid team this year. And then hosting Oak State, that's a tough finish.
If I'm Big 12 media, it's Utah, Oklahoma State, Kansas State are my 1, 2, 3 in the Big 12 this year. Utah 1, Oklahoma State 2, Kansas State 3.
Yeah. Well, they get all those.
They get all those at home too, though, I think. If that
K-State's at Folsom Field. That's their homecoming game, by the way. K-State at Folsom Field, Utah at Folsom, and then Oklahoma State at Folsom.
Tough schedule there for Deion and the guys.
Because blindly, without knowing the schedule and without actually even knowing they were going to move to the Big 12, didn't we all say if in year 2 he could challenge a bowl game, it's been a huge success so far?
Just get him to a bowl game.
But now he challenged that in year 1, actually. So he was a step ahead. But, if they don't go to a bowl game in year 2, and Lance has them out of a bowl right now.
Oh, I'd be shocked if they go to a bowl.
Think about that.
I had never noticed this before until Brown brought it up earlier this week.
And I think this will be his final season.
That his sons will move on and he will move on.
Final season there or final season coaching?
No, final season there. I think he'll move on.
Yeah.
To where?
I don't know.
I just don't think he keeps coaching.
Could you see him coaching in the NFL?
Sure. I could see him coaching more in the NFL than college.
Really?
Yeah, because all he wants to do is coach ball.
He has not complained. I think, could you see him coaching in the NFL?
I could see him want to coach in the NFL. I don't know how much success he'd have.
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know what Deion's future is. In a lot of ways, he approached it like a professional program at Colorado, What did you not notice till I pointed out?
That we now have a 5+ star rating, and Brown pointed that out earlier this week.
I don't know what it means.
And we've got one right here in town. It's Naheem Offord of Parker. He's a 5+ star cornerback, and those are his offers. Those are the kind of offers you get when you got 5+ stars.
Are you kidding me?
That's every logo in college football.
Yeah.
Parker High School, 6'2", 185. And obviously the 2025 recruiting cycle.
That's a humble brag is what we call that.
That's pretty impressive, though.
Yeah, that's Hayes Fawcett that sent that out. Offers on the table thus far for 5-star plus cornerback Naheem Offord.
You think we can rule some of those out? You think that Husky on the far right next to Nebraska?
UConn? You don't think he's going to go to UConn?
Yeah, the Buffalo by his kneecap.
You think Austin P down lower right?
Yeah.
It's not right ahead of right next to Memphis and ahead of Alabama State there.
So
that's in no particular order, by the way. Those offers, I think.
So my guy Miles McKee, assistant coach there at Parker, was talking about this kid the other day. He and I had lunch, and this kid's the real deal, I think, and I think that shows you obviously that everybody wants the guy. They're saying 5+ means he's a consensus 5-star.
So that means every service has him as a 5-star.
I thought it was how you got your Bama bump if you were already a 5-star.
That's
You
right.
committed to Alabama. I thought that's what it was.
We'll give you a plus there.
Yeah.
Lunsford, have you found anywhere? Does he have favorites or anything like that? Were you able to find anything at all?
Ohio State is what everybody's saying is the crystal ball projection for
already.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in my guy's Miles' mouth, but when we were having lunch the other day, he was talking about Ryan Day coming by the school there. So, I think Ryan Day's hot after this kid.
So Ryan Day doesn't show up at Parker every day?
Probably no.
5-star plus.
Yeah, 5-star plus get you there, though.
But I was showing that to Maggie yesterday, and I was like, look at this. Back in the day, you just knew that this was going to come down to Alabama or somebody. And now without Nick Saban over there, you just don't know if it's Alabama or somebody, or are you going to let Ohio State come to town and take this kid out of Birmingham? Come on.
You think Kalen DeBoer is all after? The kid probably, I don't know, he had an offer from everybody, so I guess he knew Kalen DeBoer at Washington.
5-star plus. He's going to be coming from everybody wants him.
Yeah.
We can't let him get out of the state. Come on.
So you think
Alabama,
this is on you, Freeze,
Alabama,
and Kalen DeBoer to keep the guy?
Don't let Ohio State come down here and take that kid out of Birmingham. He's a 5-star plus guy. Got to keep those guys at home. When we come back, those basketball conversations that I promised you, and you'll hear from the guy that Auburn has to overcome. Chris Beard talks to us next about what the schedule looks like in the SEC for everybody in this month, and a historic weekend ahead of top 10 matchups. That's coming up. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at World of Wheels. We'll be down there later today, Brownie.
So this is where I talk about them?
It is, yes.
All right, this is not just a little added value.
No. I got sent to the principal office on the added value. No, I did not.
O'Reilly Auto Parts, World of Wheels. Mankind is going to be there. Mick Foley. Jim thought Mick Foley was just Mick Foley. No, he is also Mankind and Cactus Jack and Macho Man Savage and Hulk Hogan, Jim, and Ultimate Warrior. He was all
I
those
really
characters.
thought Mick Foley was like the guy who was on the broadcast, like part of the announcing team.
You thought he was the King Jerry Lawler or old JR?
We've had him on the show before.
I know. Jim forgets that. Jim only remembers like when I say something that I said back in.
And I would almost guarantee you've watched more wrestling than me.
I'm not sure.
You've watched as much wrestling as soccer, right?
I've watched more soccer than wrestling over the years.
Hey, it is coming up. It starts today. We're going to be out there 3 to 4 today. Extra show today, 3 to 4. So set your alerts. And make sure you give us a thumbs up on that.
The Batmobile is going to be there?
Batmobile looks like it's going to be there.
2 of them.
Ken Digg of Ken Diggett Designs is going to be there
People
on
of
Saturday.
Gotham.
Oh,
this is great.
Is Kane going to be there?
Kane's not, but Bane may be.
Pittsburgh. Oh, you saw what I did?
Pittsburgh of the South.
You saw what I did to Hines Ward.
The beaver has abandoned you.
I killed the lights at Coleman Coliseum. I will kill you now. So it is coming up this weekend. You get tickets at any O'Reilly Auto Parts store. You can also find more at worldofwheels.net, worldofwheels.net. See us 3 to 4 there today. And Mankind, Mick Foley, Jerry Mathers, the Beeve is on Sunday. I don't know if I mentioned him.
Roses in this grand old stadium.
Worldofwheels.net, O'Reilly Auto Parts, World of Wheels.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store. The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself or they make a great gift for someone else. and let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store, that's nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, February 2nd through 4th at the BJCC. See classic cars and hot rods, custom trucks and motorcycles. Friday, meet WWE legend Mick Foley. Saturday, meet Dave Kindig from Kindig Designs. And Sunday, meet Jerry Mathers, the Bee from Leave It to Beaver. Plus, feature cars like the Batmobile and General Lee. Kids, meet your favorite costume characters and race Hot Wheels on the free Hot Wheels drag track. Don't miss the Super Show with one-of-a-kind vehicles from across the country. Get your discount tickets today at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get details at worldofwheels.net.
Paul says SmackDown in Birmingham tonight. Is that true, Lunsford?
It is true.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, at the BJCC?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it's not going to be crowded down there at all.
What's our parking situation then? I mean, we're there 3 to 4. Surely we're in front of the SmackDown crowd, right?
I don't know. I would assume the SmackDown crowd is coming down to see Mick
Foley. There we go.
Was he wrestling tonight?
No.
He's retired.
He's retired?
Yeah, I got this interview. Hey, real quick, you're not going to be there after 4, right?
No, I've got to leave. I have previous plans. Why?
Oh, I was just wondering.
Okay. Now, I had previous plans. As soon as the show's over, the extra show. But Lance is going to interview Mick Foley on the
main stage.
The main stage there.
On the main stage.
So is this the opener for the Beaver, though?
No, the Beaver's not there till Sunday.
Beaver doesn't show till Sunday.
Yeah, Jerry's there Sunday. Jerry.
Yeah, we'll keep the closing act.
yes. He'll cut down the tree at the end.
World of Wheels were down there later today.
I'm glad we read that, though. I did not know Jerry Mathers was still with us, Rockstar. So I learned that in the course of reading the copy for World of Wheels.
Yeah, but he was like 8 in 1950, right? So quick math.
I would have said he was not with us, too. We go through all those old shows, like Gilligan's Island. Any of those people still alive? I'd say no.
Well, I will say this. This is a good example of why if you want to meet Beeve, you need to come out. Because just a couple of years ago, the chick that played Mary Ann was that year's edition of the Beeve, and she has since passed.
Yeah, he's 75.
Yeah, that's still young.
Doesn't look a day over 74.
Bob Denver, Jim.
Yeah,
still alive.
No way.
Nope, dead.
No, he's dead. I remember.
Dead.
Yeah,
Skipper's been dead.
Long dead.
John Denver dead.
Oh,
right?
the Skipper was super old then.
John Denver tried to play Denzel Washington, didn't he, in Flight?
He did.
Tina Louise still alive. She played Ginger.
Ginger is still
with
alive.
us. Yeah.
Wow, that's what Jay is saying.
Hey, how about that? She's 89. Good for her.
That?
I bet you were more Mary Ann than Ginger, weren't you?
How she adjusted by not being off the island and stuff like that.
I was Mary Ann.
Tom Hanks had a tough time.
Mary Ann, man,
the professor made it to 89. He lived a good life.
When did he die?
Back in 2005.
Yeah.
And as Lance mentioned, back in 2020, Dawn Wells left us at age 82.
They had one of the channels I don't watch, but you pay for. I was shuttling through the other day on my YouTube TV, and it was like Gilligan's Island. So I stopped and said, I used to watch this as a kid. Let's see what it's all about.
You know
what it's all about.
And
I wonder if they'll get off this episode.
And the scene was Marianne was in a swimsuit, and they were training for Miss Island. First ever Miss Island competition.
What's RV Ginger?
Wait, yeah, really? What was the competition?
Marianne Ginger and Mrs. Howell.
Yeah.
I think she's going to a great conference.
Love her. You took your top off.
So the professor me scar. Yeah.
So the professor came up with this idea. He put a big hook in the back of her swimsuit and got her in the lagoon, and he's reeling her in, a little tension.
Like she's a mermaid?
And then, of course, Gilligan comes running up thinking that he's got a big fish. So he grabs it and tries to pull it in and rips the swimsuit off.
That was the episode after the skipper performed the rejuvenation on Mrs. Howell, right?
He did.
Your mind, man.
Hey, do you know the irony is the skipper was in the Coast Guard and he couldn't get him off that island, Rockstar?
No, did he play somebody that was
No. Alan Hill, the actor that played the skipper, was actually in the Coast Guard during World War II.
We had a bumbling fool as a first mate.
He did.
Didn't he get busted for distributing weed?
Alan Hill?
No, Bob Denver.
I'll go back.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he did.
While you do that, you want your legacy to be something different than that. A Legacy Credit Union can help you with your finances in 2024. Right now, I want to talk to you about balance transfers off your credit card, high-interest credit cards, to a Legacy credit card. Why would you do that? Well, let me start with the fact that you can get a 2.99% annual percentage rate for balance transfer for the first 6 months to let you get going in the right direction of paying off those credit cards. There's also no balance transfer fees. There's no annual fee, and credit card rates are as low as 8.90% APR on any new purchase. That APR, of course, is the annual percentage rate. Terms and conditions may apply. See the credit union for detail. Federally insured by the NCUA. You can get details at legacycreditunion.com, legacycreditunion.com, or stop by any of the 9 Central Alabama locations.
So February 7th of 1971, Bob Denver was arrested in Anderson, California for possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia in his car. He pled no contest, got a reduced sentence and a $250 fine. Then in 1998, he was arrested for marijuana delivered to his home, originally saying the delivery came from Dawn Wells. He rolled her right under the bus, didn't he? But, and Dawn, if you don't remember, played Marianne O'Gilligan's Island. Lance mentioned her a moment ago. Later refused to name her in court, testifying that, quote, some crazy fan must have sent it. End of quote.
Must have. You never knew what was in those coconut cream pies.
He got 6 months, no probation.
Cut to Rockstar. Chris Beard is the head coach of Ole Miss. Auburn is heading over to play Ole Miss in what is starting a stretch of 6 contests for Auburn, where they get great opportunities at quad 1 wins. And by the way, Chris Beard, who is very good at coaching back at Ole Miss, building that program. February, he says, quickly turns into March and tournament time. Here's Chris Beard.
You know, February to me is the biggest month in college basketball. We all think about March and March Madness, but your February opens up the door for you to be a part of that, or sometimes closes that door, or sometimes leaves a little bit of crack. So I mean, this is the deal, you know. So we've got 7 games this month, and we just have to try to continue to get better and play our best basketball when it matters most. You know, we're about to make the turn in the 18-round fight of the SEC, and but February is a big month. You know, I think there's some teams out there that have a chance. There's some teams that are probably going in the other direction. Everybody's motivation is different this time of year. So one of our many objectives is to always give ourselves a chance. You know, don't beat ourselves. And so certainly that starts with your locker room and where guys are mentally this time of year. And obviously with the basketball, we want to just continue getting better.
Yeah, so that's Auburn coming to town. Big opportunity for Ole Miss to get a statement win here. But it's time for Auburn to sort of step up and win some road games.
Yeah,
here.
look, and this is going to be a tough game. Again, I think it'll be around a pick. Auburn probably a slight favorite. But you look at, after getting run off by Auburn, Ole Miss destroys Arkansas. They got their first SEC road win against A&M, and then they beat Mississippi State in front of that record crowd. Right now under Chris Beard, they're 13-0 at home. So they have yet to lose in Oxford.
And for Beard, 58th in the net, to his point about getting in the NCAA tournament. I mean, that is very, 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 very bubblish right there, yeah. 58th in the net. And a Auburn win would certainly help that for him. For Auburn, this is another chance for a quad one win that has eluded them so far this year.
And they're 0-11 their last 11 road quad one games. Is that right?
The only stat I have seen is 0-11 in their last 11 Ken Pom top 100 road games. So I don't know that all of those fit into the quad one. They may have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're top 100 Ken Pom, there's a chance. But right now, Auburn is 0-4 in quad one games. This is a quad one opportunity for the Tigers.
Yeah, and we'll see what Auburn does tomorrow. They're 1-0 in that stretch where I thought they'd go 6-0. We'll see if they can stay hot tomorrow. That game is happening tomorrow at 5 p.m. over there. Number 16 Auburn on the road at Ole Miss. Alabama at home 7:30 as they get Mississippi State, 24th ranked Alabama. And then there's these 4 top 10 matchups this weekend. Taylor threw this graphic together to let you know just how historic the weekend is. Number 4 Houston at number 8 Kansas. Number 7 Duke at number 3 North Carolina for the 49th time with those two teams ranked in the top 10.
That's pretty crazy.
Facing each other. Next closest top 10 matchups all time.
Kentucky Louisville?
North Carolina NC State 14 times, but you see the gap there.
Wow.
Tennessee is 5, Kentucky's 10. They play each other at Rupp tomorrow afternoon. And on Sunday, number 2 Purdue at number 6 Wisconsin. Historic weekend of top 10 matchups. We'll talk football. Andy Staples coming up on the other side right here on the show that is being brought to you today in part by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Always a great place to go and maybe have a February Thanksgiving.
February Thanksgiving was last night in the house. We picked up all our stuff from the New York Butcher Shop, but I think I'm going back there tonight for a little steak night. Dunaway has got a sandwich, kind of the remnants of the Thanksgiving dinner in February last night. I guess we'll give you a little update on that. But the New York Butcher Shop, stop and see Jim. If you're looking for a big-time lunch, you can get those huge deli sandwiches, but they've got the best and the finest certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all-natural chicken cut to order just for you with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cava Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
On the field or in the office, you need a solid team and a strong game plan if you want to beat the competition. Xerox Business Solutions Southeast offers everything from printers to managed IT services, as well as hybrid work hardware solutions through our titanium partnership with Dell. For championship-level office solutions, get Xerox Business Solutions Southeast into your starting lineup. Visit xbssoutheast.com/win. Touchdown!
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Harbin's Outdoors is an award-winning landscape company specializing in installing custom fiberglass pools, landscaping, and hardscaping. Jeremy and his team are a one-stop shop for your pool construction needs. Harbin's does it all, from the install to the final hardscapes around the pool and everything in between. It's beautiful work. You can find them on Instagram at Harbins_outdoors to see it for yourself, or call or text Jeremy directly, 205-300-0718. That's 205-300-0718. At Harbins, you and your home are the center of all that they do.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Champy's Chicken brings you this hour. More on Champy's in a moment. Would you just tell Andy Staples, who joins the show, what we're enjoying right now, Brown?
All right, so Andy loves good food. On 3 Sports at Andy_Staples on Twitter is where you follow him. So Andy, Lance's girlfriend, cooked Thanksgiving in February last night.
Yeah, we did a Thanksgiving in February. Why not?
And she made Dunaway and I turkey and cranberry sandwiches. For lunch, and dressing. There's dressing.
So I love Thanksgiving dinner on a sandwich. There's actually a place in Orlando called Pom Pom Sandwicheria that does a great Thanksgiving dinner on a sandwich where you got the turkey, the cranberry sauce, the mashed potatoes, which sounds weird on a sandwich, but it is amazing.
This has got the dressing, which it's kind of a California dressing, but it's got the Ocean Spray cranberry straight out of the can, diced up.
Oh, yes.
And then a lot of Duke's mayo on it.
Well, that just ruins it. But if you take that off and put some gravy on it, it would be spectacular.
Yes, sir. California dressing. So I've got to pay taxes on this.
I don't know what all. There's cranberries in the California dressing, though. It's really good.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Look at Andy's reaction. He didn't know California dressing.
Well, I'm thinking about it because we do eat the cranberry sauce with the dressing at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So putting cranberries in it is not exactly sacrilegious.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's more of the dried cranberry that goes in that, and then there's just something about the Ocean Spray can that I think it's a polarizing thing. Either people love it or they hate it.
It's the sound, the glop, 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 glop.
Yep. But
you
it's
just
good.
cut slices of it.
All right, let's talk some college football, Danny. First of all, before we get into some of the coaching moves, you were just down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, and I saw that, and you never know, but I saw that Ladd McConkey, actually the Georgia receiver, was a guy that might have had one of the best weeks of all and helped his draft status. Just give us maybe your overall observations of what you saw there at the Senior Bowl.
Well, is a healthy Ladd McConkey cooking people a surprising thing?
I guess not.
I mean, we saw it for a long time in the SEC, so I don't think that's a big surprise at all. He was really good. There were some people that really just kind of came as advertised, I think. Tyler Guyton, the tackle from Oklahoma, is a guy you're going to hear a ton about, potential first-round pick. He's just got every trait that those guys want. Tavondre Sweat, the D tackle from Texas, one of my favorite players all year, and he just, looked exactly like you wanted him to look. And he was just mauling. I watched him basically commit a homicide in a one-on-one pass pro drill the other day, and it was spectacular. Michael Penix Jr. looked really good. He's one that did need to help himself because it's not so much that it's his tape from the last year. Everybody loves his tape from the last 2 years. He's got so many medical issues because of what happened in Indiana, where he had 3 consecutive season-ending injuries. He's got to overcome that. And when you throw the ball the way he did, I think that helps him. I also think Bo Nix helped himself a little bit. One name I'll give you guys that you're going to hear a little bit over the next few months, and keep an eye on him. Dylan Laube, running back from New Hampshire. He is spectacular. He's really fast. He's 5'9", 210, so he's a sturdily built guy. Really fast and great at catching the ball out of the backfield, or you could just motion him into the slot or even out wide. And he's awesome. Like there was a play the other day where Bo Nix hit him on a fade coming off the hash that was tremendous, and he just cooked the cornerback.
If I ask you, though, who comes off the board first, Ladd McConkey or Michael Penix Jr.? It's kind of hard to believe where McConkey was a couple of years ago, and Michael Penix, the runner-up to win the Heisman this year, and the magnificent year that he had. But I really don't see McConkey out of the top 5 as far as receivers taken in this draft.
Oh, I think I agree with you on that. The question is where, how many teams are so quarterback needy that they jump on somebody early? And I've seen like everybody's, there's going to be 6 first-round quarterbacks. We always say that now, and then you get to the draft and there's 3, like we thought originally there was going to be, and then somebody like Will Levis goes in the 2nd round or so. So I do think you're going to see probably some of these quarterbacks not be taken as high as everybody thinks. Like I would think Caleb Williams will go first, and then it'll be Jaden Daniels and Drake May. And then there might be some separation between those guys and the next one picked, and it might be until the 2nd round before you see another one picked.
I'm interested away from the upcoming draft, but current college coaching situation. Obviously, Alabama fans have taken some shots here since Nick Saban's retirement. Now Kalen DeBoer, who's down in Mobile, news breaks that maybe the Seahawks and Ryan Grubb could end up pairing up. Where should the concern level be if you're an Alabama fan on Ryan Grubb if he does leave and go to Seattle?
High. It should be high. And it should be high if he leaves. It should be high that he might leave, because it sounds like Mike McDonald would like to hire him in Seattle. So that's... Yeah, I mean, Ryan Grubb is very important to what Kalen DeBoer does. Now, they haven't always been together. There have been times when they've been apart, but Ryan Grubb is an excellent play caller. He makes it very easy for Kalen DeBoer to administrate, and that would put DeBoer in a situation where he's got to hire a play caller, and that makes it pretty interesting. That makes it a much tougher situation than it would have been. It's sort of like, Sharon Moore taking over at Michigan. You're like, as long as they keep the strength coach, they're going to be fine. And then the strength coach leaves.
Andy Staples is with us, and you can follow Andy on Twitter at Andy_Staples. On 3 Sports is where you get all that he does there. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Give him a thumbs up. Same thing we ask you to do for us. Thumbs up and subscribe, set your alerts. And he's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. 5-alarm situation for coaches like Jeff Hafley leaving to go to the NFL, Chip Kelly perhaps leaving to go to a coordinator spot, or too much being made about this. I guess the answer could also be somewhere in the middle. What is your feel when we start seeing sitting head coaches leaving for coordinator positions in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, they don't like the job right now. It's hard. You got to re-recruit your roster constantly. That's going to last a few years until the people in charge of college football figure out that they need to collectively bargain with the players and then make some rules that won't get taken to court. Like, they're going to figure that out. I promise they're going to figure that out. So it won't always be like this. But yeah, there are some older coaches or coaches who can do this and make this move who don't want to work like that. And that's fine. Guess what? At every major program, there's 100 people in the building. They all want to be a coach on the field. I don't think there's going to be a problem finding people to take these very high-paying jobs.
Okay. But if this were college basketball that the NCAA makes money on, would they have already broken their back to fix this? Is part of the reason, Andy, they don't fix it because they don't make the championship money off football, so it's less important to them?
No. The schools make the rules. It's not the people in Indianapolis making. Well, they have been making and interpreting the rules in this particular case with the NIL, but the schools can change it whenever they want to. If the schools that make most of the money, the SEC schools, the Big Ten schools, ACC schools, Big 12 schools, if they want to do something different, they can do something different. It's up to them to decide they want to.
Now, look, next year things change, 12-team playoffs, so this is easier. But if I ask you what happens first, Michigan back to a college football playoff with Sharon Moore, or Clemson back to a college football playoff?
Ooh. So Clemson, with a good year, can get there next year. But you only have to finish 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten to get there.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. I'm going to go Sharon Moore gets there sooner.
Yeah, what do you think about this Michigan roster, though? It did seem like it was I don't want to call it a slow build, but Harbaugh built everything for this one moment in time this past year.
It was a really old roster, and there were a lot of guys who came back for another run. And I like some of our guys who covered Michigan said that they thought if Michigan hadn't lost to TCU, let's say Michigan beats TCU in the Fiesta Bowl and goes and loses to Georgia in the national championship game, that a lot of those guys would have just gone pro because they would have won a playoff game, felt like they gave it their best shot, and that would have been that. But because they had such a sour taste, and there was some NIL money being kicked in, they were like, we like playing with each other. We're really good. Let's run it back. I think you're actually seeing that at Ohio State this year. You look at Ohio State's defense and the guys who could have been kind of mid-round to maybe early round draft picks who came back, that's what this looks like. So they'll be the super old team in the Big Ten this year, like Michigan was. Now, I will say Michigan still has some pretty top-level talent that's still there, like Kenneth Grant, the D tackle, and Mason Graham, another D tackle. That's probably the best tandem of interior defensive linemen in the whole country. So it's not like Michigan is bereft of talent now. They're going to be okay, and they're also going to be pretty big-time shoppers in the transfer portal come spring. Because remember, that's what they've done the last 2 years, where they very strategically grabbed out of the portal to get guys who fit exactly what they need. And I would bet they're going to do that again.
I see where the collectives are having their first ever convention. It seems like they should do that like at the U.S. Army All-Star Game or the Under Armour All-Star Game and just make their jobs a lot easier.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah, exactly. But the Tennessee situation, obviously gets a lot of headlines down here because of the history. Big deal, not a big deal. Will anything impact Tennessee on the field from this?
I mean, there's going to be a court hearing probably next week where they say that the rules against NIL to recruits are illegal. And there will be no rules after that. Like, it's a huge deal. Yep. It's kind of the case everybody's been waiting for. So now that is one thing. That's the Tennessee Attorney General and the Virginia Attorney General filed that lawsuit against the NCAA. And I wouldn't be shocked if other states join in, or maybe the Justice Department, because that's what happened with the lawsuit against the transfer rules a month ago. And so you had 7 states in the Justice Department in that one. Tennessee itself, they're trying to say, well, we didn't break any rules. The NCAA is saying, no, you had boosters trying to convince Nico Yamamela to go to Tennessee. But the problem is, and this is where the NCAA screwed up, and remember, they're not just going after Tennessee. They're looking at Florida. They already had a case with Florida State. They sent letters out to double-digit schools last week about this stuff. They're going after the schools that make all the money. All of them now do everything the same way. Like, that Nico thing was novel when it happened. Everybody's copied that blueprint. If you sign college football, like major college football or major college basketball players right now, you do it this way, which would be in violation according to the NCAA. So if they're going to attack all their moneymakers, we don't have to guess who's going to win in this one. It won't be the NCAA.
The moneymaker's a heavy favorite, is what Andy is saying there. Go follow Andy on Twitter at Andy_Staples, and watch him on YouTube, On3 Sports. Like all his stuff. Set your alerts. Subscribe, on3.com for all the info there. Andy, thank you very much for the time. Always good talking with you.
All right, see you guys.
All right, buddy, take care. Andy Staples with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Every time Andy's with us, we're always eating good or drinking good, or when we were with him in Nashville at SEC Media Days. I seem like Andy would like our show. I feel like he'd like being on our show because he likes good food and good drink. Right?
Well, he actually introduced me to a good spot in Mobile. I meant to ask him if he'd eaten there, called Meat Boss.
Yeah,
I like to go down there when I go to visit my daughter at South Alabama. Not too far from the campus there, and he actually turned me on to that place, Meat Boss.
I wonder if he went by there this week.
I meant to ask him, and I forgot. But that place is fantastic.
We always recommend, if you're in our area, our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you this hour of the show. Sterling and the crew got that great Southern meal, all the wonderful sides, and so much more, including the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's our friends right there at Champy's world famous fried chicken, Sterling and the crew on Highway 119 in Alabaster. LT, you've got 4 downs for us, right?
I do.
Okay, we're going to do that right here. But keep in mind, basketball happening tomorrow. Not a great slate tonight. One other college football note before we get to the 4 downs. Riley Leonard ended up having ankle surgery. He's missing all the winter workouts at Notre Dame. For those of you that forget, he's now at Notre Dame. But they do expect him back for some spring drills. I don't know if he'll do contact or anything this spring, but when he got to Notre Dame, they did the check on the ankle, and he had not healed properly. So they had to go back in and correct some problems there, about a 4 to 6 week recovery. So something to keep an eye on in the offseason. And our thoughts and prayers and just a time to remember Mike Martin. And I know LT used to watch the College World Series back in its early days on ESPN. Mike Martin, I don't think he ever won a World Series.
He did not.
Yeah,
I think he went to 17.
I'm going to look it up. He was there
right
all
here.
the time.
Is it 17 College World Series? 17 of them. He never won it, but he's the winningest coach in college baseball history. He passed away yesterday at the age of 79. Coached there at Florida State from 1980 through 2019. And I saw some interviews yesterday on the air, just a really down-to-earth guy, and he got really excited about just making it to Omaha. They showed so many celebrations and just going back.
Yeah, such an accomplishment just to get there. But we talk about starving fan bases all of the time, and this will probably be one of the narratives next week. San Francisco hasn't won a championship since 1994, which is hard to believe. But, Detroit this past week, Buffalo a couple of weeks ago. But if you're a Florida State baseball fan, and they've got some diehard baseball fans, and to watch your team get to Omaha 17 different times under Mike Martin is an incredible accomplishment, but to not somehow have the break to win one of those, it's pretty incredible.
Just to get something to fall your way one time. But an unbelievable guy. 2,029 wins and only 736 losses.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and there was a period in time it felt like every year Auburn was a 2 seed.
Yep.
And they got sent to the Tallahassee Regional every year, it seemed like.
Yeah, one of the greatest wins of all time came there.
Yeah.
But, it seems
Was
like
that David Ross?
Yeah, it seems like they were there every single year. It really did.
Selection show.
Yeah.
2 seed Auburn to the Tallahassee region. Great. Got to run through Mike Martin's team to get there.
When does he ever go to the College World Series?
Yeah. All right. 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice, another great location that we recommend for great food in our area.
Yeah, that's just a fantastic place to go this weekend, all weekend long. Slice, 4 locations for you, soon to be that 5th location. Go see the Bajaya Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. From the soul pie to the Bajaya special, the old school. You're going to absolutely love it. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More surprising that they didn't get hired this coaching cycle, Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel?
For me, I'm going to end up saying Mike Vrabel on this one, because the more I read about this is that Belichick refused to give up total control. He wanted to be the general manager too. He wanted to be in charge of everything. And, I think teams have gotten to the point where they don't want to necessarily turn that over, especially to someone who's in their 70s. So I'm going to say Vrabel, who young, energetic, and I thought did a good job at Tennessee. I'm more shocked he's not a head coach.
Yeah, I think it would have been a special circumstance to get Belichick, because your time is limited. You needed to have somebody that was pretty close to winning. Vrabel, you got plenty of time left. There's plenty of tread on those tires.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little more surprised by Vrabel than Belichick.
Yeah, I would go Vrabel as well. This is a guy that was a 1 seed just 2 years ago and did it with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
And seems like he could really relate to the players.
Yeah,
I think the players very much liked him,
I'm going to assume he just doesn't interview good and came off maybe
a little arrogant.
Maybe.
Second down.
Okay, better chance of multiple titles. I don't know if you guys saw Jim Harbaugh at his press conference for the LA Chargers. He doesn't want to win one. He wants to win multiple Super Bowl championships. They've never won one, by the way. But better chance of him winning multiple Lombardis with the Chargers, or Lincoln Riley winning multiple national championships at USC.
I'm going to say Lincoln Riley at USC, though I think neither do it. I don't know if you paid attention. How many of your Rams won all time?
2.
And I'm not going to do the Bucks, because the Bucks is not this kind of organization. Dolphins all time? 2? 72, 73?
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah, 72,
they've been back, Jim.
Yeah.
They've been back once.
Sometimes Belichick and Brady made it look easy. Sometimes there's been a dynasty. Winning 2 of those for a guy who's already 60, come on. No.
Yeah, and the problem now in college football is, if your guys, kind of like what Andy Staples was saying, if Michigan would have beaten TCU, just won one playoff game, a lot of those guys would have bolted to the NFL. It's just going to be impossible to keep these guys around.
Yeah, so you think Jim Harbaugh?
No, I would go Lincoln Riley. I don't think either.
But I don't think either.
Yeah, I think I'd go Lincoln.
Third down.
Dog the Bounty Hunter, 71 years
Well,
old.
I hadn't thought of
today.
him in forever. I used to watch that show some.
Yeah, Dwayne Chapman, good looking
Yeah.
fella.
Better career, Dog the Bounty Hunter or Mick Foley?
Nope, I was going to go Junkyard Dog though.
Wow.
Or Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Junkyard Dog was a force to be reckoned with. He had a chain, man.
Did Junkyard Dog ever have the world championship, though? Did he ever have the belt? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Hey, but did Dog the Bounty Hunter ever have the belt?
Well, I don't know.
Hit his big-breasted wife.
Okay, I don't know what
Yeah.
Junkyard
Beth?
Dog looks like, but did he look like that Georgia fan that was bald and would put the big G on top of his
he
head?
had hair, beard, big chain, red pants, and shirtless, I
and
think.
different color. So yeah, I mean, you could not have been further from the.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he ever won the.
Yeah, maybe a tag team
maybe
championship.
So.
Oh yeah, surely Junkyard Dog. That's
Now,
Junkyard Dog.
Didn't he die behind the wheel of a truck hitting a tree?
I mean, your memory on stuff like that is insane because you had Bob Denver,
Macho Man died hitting a tree too.
But
you
is
had
that
Bob
true
Denver.
on-
Yes, 100%. Single car accident, I-20 in Mississippi. Returning after his daughter's graduation. What a sad story.
At least he got to see the
wow.
graduation.
Wow.
Yep.
That is sad.
Yep. Inducted the Hall of Fame 2004. Go ahead, Rice Armstrong.
Fourth down.
I don't know if I answered or not.
How about these birthdays today? Christy Brinkley, 70 years old.
70?
Shakira, 47. Farrah Fawcett would have been 77.
Wow.
In top of their prime, how would you rank these?
Christy Brinkley.
Shakira and Farrah Fawcett.
Christy Brinkley, Vacation in the Ferrari. That might be my one seed right there in this discussion.
God, boy, this is tough. I mean,
It
Farrah
is.
Fawcett, back in the day, just true beauty.
I'm going to go off the board, though. I'm going to go Shakira first.
Well, I think it's easier to look better now, right?
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you eat meat and potatoes all the time. You want something a little different, a little spicy.
Michael's
Go with
right. Shakira is still as fire,
I
and
like
she's
Farrah Fawcett is just meat and potatoes.
How old is Shakira?
Shakira's 47.
Oh, wow.
She's not a big fan of paying taxes.
Oh, really?
No.
In the United States or in Brazil?
Every poster I saw from Farrah, it looked like it was cold.
Well, she looks like. Well, I mean, how many did you see outside of that one orange-ish red bikini or the one?
It's iconic.
I think she was a Charlie's Angel. Wasn't
She was.
Yeah.
I would go Farrah 1, Shakira 2, Brinkley 3.
Wow, Brinkley 3. Even Vacation Brinkley.
Yeah.
Billy Joel tainted that.
I'd go Shakira, Farrah Fawcett, Brinkley 3 as well. I'm not a big 80s hair person. And that's what I think of her, 80s hair.
Who, Christy Brinkley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
she was
Farrah Fawcett, too.
famous in the 80s,
That was
you know.
70s hair. I'm all about 70s hair.
Pretty amazing, all three of those. Same birthday.
That is crazy. Happy birthday today to James Franklin, 52 years old. Better career. James Franklin, Ben Franklin.
I also would have him fourth in Lance's list.
Yeah, I would. I mean, there's some. Give me another Rick James, much better career than James Franklin.
James Franklin, Ben Franklin, Ron Franklin, better career than James Franklin.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Tony
Art Franklin.
Art Franklin.
Art Franklin, better career than James Franklin.
Tony Franklin.
Tony Franklin, kicker.
No, Tony Franklin, assistant coach that cleaned out his office at Auburn and walked out the front door when Tuberville fired him.
Seemed like there was a Franklin was a kicker at one time too.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was Tony Franklin for the Patriots.
Yeah, other Tony Franklin, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
What if I asked you James Hetfield or Thomas Jefferson?
Jefferson. He didn't write no damn nothing else matters.
That's true. It is 100% true.
Eat this right, Ben could pull some boom.
When we come back,
Yeah, that's what got him, right?
trash today.
I think it ended him.
Yeah, show brought to you by our friends Dr. B. He's got LT's hair. Speaking of hair.
Yeah, I've actually got to go see our friend Ronnie. I got to get some of this stuff cut.
I was there yesterday.
Dr. B, just the best in the business. I really didn't know who Dr. Beckenstein was until I started to thin out. I asked around. Everybody said, that is the guy you need to go see. Since that moment, my hair has more than doubled in thickness. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. You can go online for more information, t3hair.net.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to the Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. NextRound.store. That's NextRound.store. Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
A couple of breaking news stories for you here, being brought to you by our friends at Bandwagon Sports. Had some friends reaching out about Bandwagon last night, big softball dads, and I said, "Oh, it's the place to go." Yeah,
the softball dads. They need to go. Did you tell them to go right now, Jimmy D?
I said, "Get there quickly." I sent them to the Caba Heights location.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah, Bandwagon Sports. Tell us about Bandwagon Sports. Look, we got video. Bandwagon Sports.
Yeah, we
right
do.
There.
Yeah, we do. Bandwagon Sports is where you need to go. And right now, you could save on all the gear for ballpark days. Okay.
So many bats.
Bandwagon says, listen, baseball and softball, it can get expensive. They understand that. With the seasons coming up, their shelves are stocked with every single thing you need, from grip tape to gloves, custom uniforms. Bandwagon Sports has all the gear, big and small, for those ballpark days. And now, up until tomorrow, you can spend $100 on baseball or softball equipment at Bandwagon and get $20 off. $100. Get $20 off at Bandwagon Sports. All you need to do is say, hey, I heard this on the Next Round. I need to save my kids. They're bleeding me dry. Spend $100. Get $20 off. Next Round listeners and viewers, it is time to jump on the bandwagon. Find a location near you. Bandwagonsports.com. Bandwagonsports.com.
Spend $100, get $20 off.
That's what I said. Did I not say that? What did I say?
Just making sure. I thought I heard one time spend 20 and get 100 off, which is the way I would run a business and go broke.
Yes.
But it's a wonderful location there. Here's two developing stories. One, almost saw this one coming. Pete Thamel reporting. Sources are telling him the SEC and the Big Ten are set to announce they are setting up an advisory committee. It's expected to look at the entire college sports landscape and solutions within it. I'll repeat that for you in a very news voice. Sources telling Pete Thamel the SEC and the Big Ten, 2 Power 4 conferences not included, are set to announce that they are setting up an advisory committee expected to look at the entire college sports landscape and solutions within it.
Well, they just announced it, so they're not set to announce it. They just did. Pete was a few minutes in front of the story there, and I just got the release from the Southeastern Conference. Now, they do say, the SEC, the advisory group will have no authority to act independently and only serves as a consulting body. So they understand their place, but I think they also understand their power, that when the SEC and the Big Ten start talking, everybody's going to listen.
Greg Sankey, quote, pressures are mounting. We are not going to be status quo, end quote. The commissioner of the
Good.
SEC.
You don't need to be.
Here we go. All for the change.
This is you are living in the last days of the NCAA.
Yeah.
You are.
Revelation.
And I don't think anybody's going to miss it.
You notice that I put an S at the end of Revelation? Revelation.
The revelation to the Apostle John, or just you're just using the Revelation?
The last book of
the final book of the Bible?
Yeah.
Yes, the Revelation.
Yeah.
So
I occasionally go Revelations, and my Duke student in the house always says, Jim, there's no S.
You'll impress her next time. Say the Revelation has appeared to the Apostle John, and she'd be like, whoa.
Whoa.
Who you been
talking to? The other developing story, if you like change, another change. Auburn's had a school board.
Auburn's such an interesting kid.
Auburn's had a school board that has been there since I started broadcasting my first game in 1988.
Yep.
It is going away. The future is bright. The first step towards modernizing the north end zone at Jordan-Hare Stadium is coming. A new state-of-the-art video board for Auburn football has received initial approval. That is the construction rendering, so they're going to do that before they even expand with any suites or anything.
Well, they point out that the structure below the scoreboard there is built with future expansion in mind, so that when they expanded the end zone there, they've already got the needed structure. You could see, the way it's kind of laid out for suites there, and the way the construction. So if they expanded that end zone, they're not going to have to level the scoreboard and start over there. And that's good planning on their part. Obviously, Auburn's got a pretty good engineering department.
Yes.
Yeah.
154 feet wide, 47 feet high. Yep. It's pretty good.
Big scoreboard. Yeah, it's good because, like you sit in the student section. Like my daughter was at her first Iron Bowl this year, and she sat in the student section.
Yep.
And one of her complaints, sat with some of her friends, and one of her complaints was I had to turn around the whole game to see the big scoreboard and see the replays and all. And
I think Auburn fans are excited about both of the things you just brought up.
Yeah.
And you've heard my design for, if I was an Auburn booster, I would push for 85 skyboxes is all I would build in there. And I'd give every one of them, make it like a 12-seat skybox. Every one of them would go to my scholarship athlete. That'd be part of my NIL deal. You get and you can sell those skyboxes for money if you wanted to. If you didn't want your family to go to the game and sit in the skybox,
that's right.
You can sell those 12 seats.
What did he say about jump to conclusions? It's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life.
It is time for trash. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit it, my man.
So, what was your inspiration for tonight? Be honest with me and go into detail.
Pretty good cat sound, by the way.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Yeah, buying a house, major milestone in life. Getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right who do mortgages the right way. Call them today, 205-815-9200. You can apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 22390 equal housing lender.
You think Joe Montana ever played with a broken nose?
That thing's crooked, isn't it?
Yeah, and sort of.
He's a small guy, too, man. I saw him at when we were in Miami in 2012 for Alabama Notre Dame. Me and my ex Bethany found this Italian restaurant that Bob Baumhauer had recommended. It was Dive. It was had something to do with the airport hangar something.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, the hangar. Yeah, I remember that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It was like Hangar 47 or something.
But we went twice that week, and we saw Montana in there. He had his Skechers on, believe it or not.
Did he really?
6'2", 205 in his playing days.
He's about 6 feet, 180 now.
Yeah. We all shrink.
Yeah. By the way, I got the ingredients of what y'all just ate, if you were wondering what was on the sandwich.
I loved it. I would love to hear it.
Yeah, so I had one this morning because I was like, I can't let these guys have one, and I haven't had one. So I ate one for breakfast. But it was rotisserie chicken, so a little cheat from the
Okay,
turkey.
I'll take it, though.
But I think the chicken's better. Cranberry sauce, homemade dressing, homemade gravy, and mayo. And the dressing is Hawaiian and brioche bread, herbs, green onions, dried cranberries, garlic, celery, white wine, turkey stock, and Fuji apples.
Oh, it was so good.
It was phenomenal.
Only thing that'd make it better is if do you have a toasty press at the house?
I don't know if I've got a toasty press or not.
You need a toasty press.
Okay.
Take
I
her
think
one
I've got
home.
an air fryer. Would that do anything for it?
No, take a toasty press home for her.
Okay.
Yeah. You know why I'm saying that? Because Maddie is texting me, tell Lance I deserve a toasty press.
All right.
I didn't know anything about a toasty press.
Yeah.
Do you have a toasty press?
I don't even know what it is.
Do you have a toasty press?
I'm with Jim. I have no idea what a toasty press is.
Okay, Rockstar has found the video of this, and I saw it. It hit Twitter yesterday, and I guess it's been around for a little bit. But so the young woman who went viral last year after she was caught on camera pushing her friend off a 60-foot bridge in Washington State was finally sentenced this week after pleading guilty to reckless endangerment.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. That's hard to watch.
Yeah, so the girl's trying to decide whether or not she's going to jump.
No. Yeah, man. Okay.
No.
Yep. So the problem is when the teen hit, she was in a little bit of problem. She had broken ribs. She had a collapsed lung. She said, quote, I didn't ask for any of this, but last summer, my said-to-be good friend changed my life for the worst. This nightmare started for me when I was falling through the air, and I was really terrified. When I was being pulled from the water, I thought I was going to die. I couldn't breathe. I was watching my body change color by the second. The teen, now 17, provided heartbreaking details about her tough recovery in the hospital. Couldn't shower by myself, couldn't use the bathroom by myself, could barely even walk. Once I left the hospital, I left with pain. To this day, my ribs have healed, but I still get pain and discomfort in that area. Said I wanted to play softball in college, but I may not get that chance now because my arm has issues. She has PTSD, insomnia.
Oh.
So the teen's mom was asking for her former best friend to do the same amount of time in jail that her daughter spent in the hospital.
Oh, that's kind of your rule right there.
Eye for an eye?
Yeah, eye for an eye. It's very Old Testament.
Hey, and it's only 3 days. So
Look, and listen, we all think we're bulletproof when we're that age, and you get in those situations, and I know the girl probably did not have any ill intent in doing that.
No.
You're just having fun, but it just, I mean...
Well, here was the bad thing. She
life
pushed
is so
her.
precious.
Then the friend gets in a car and leaves.
Oh, wow.
she
No,
doesn't.
Left the scene. Yes, she did.
That makes it look worse.
So she ended up, what did she get here? She got 2 days and something else.
Yeah, Brody's right. Civil suit probably.
Oh, yeah,
next.
going to have to pay so much money.
Yeah, I would think so, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did get 2 days in jail.
I mean, I'm afraid of heights.
That was rough video.
The famous Sesame Street character's Twitter account asked people, how is everybody doing? This is Elmo.
How's everybody doing?
Went on to say, Elmo just checking in. How is everybody doing? The account for the cheerful Red Monster innocently wrote Monday morning. It was a perfect setup for the cynics of Twitter. Now, the response to the question was a resounding and viral, not great, from celebrities to brands and many other users across the platform. Folks chimed in to share their despair with Hollywood's most... Not even going to read this. Elmo trended up to number 1 on Twitter, still sits at the trending chart as the writing of this article. The tweet has earned nearly 150 million impressions.
I mean, I don't understand. So Elmo just asked a question, how you doing? And everybody just unloaded on Elmo, basically?
Yeah,
How crappy
pretty
that-
much
Huh?
Yeah, that housing market, people talking about the jobs, I'm not getting enough money. And
They understand that's a Sesame Street character, right? That I don't. I
you
think
understand how social media works.
I do, yes,
Okay.
yes. Jim did one video from a car dealership, and people thought he was crazy.
Is this guy flexing?
In Australia, in Auckland...
No, this guy doesn't know what flexing is.
Auckland High School has installed a glass door, CCTV cameras, and a vape detection alarm in its bathroom, speaking concerns from students about their privacy.
Glass door, a bad idea in the bathroom, though.
I think... I mean, television cameras, CCTV is probably pretty bad. Now, photos posted online that you see here by students show the glass entrance door to the refurbished bathrooms, while there is also a large glass window on the opposite wall. The school's website detailed the reasoning behind the bathroom redesign and explained a makeover was not the only reason for the upgrade. They say, quote, these older-style toilet blocks often become a place where students gather to socialize and sometimes to vape or vandalize the premises.
Yeah.
Modern bathroom facilities are designed to help discourage this.
Yeah, I would tell you, though, that we need the privacy in the bathroom. You just need to have one of the young teachers that she needs to be in there every time between classes. You got to send a teacher in there to
number 1 or number
chaperone.
The next story, the follow-up on this, is going to be the female student who saw a male anatomy as she was walking past the class, and that's going to be the big issue.
Oh, yeah. And that's when the school system gets sued.
Yeah, that's right.
Or whoever's standing out the other window just having lunch and watching through the window.
Now, this never happened to me.
There'll be somebody doing that, too.
Because I've never put anything in outside of our refrigerator here where we've got 12 employees, and we kind of know that it's, basic common courtesy not to steal somebody else's lunch. Rockstar did have his stolen at Cumulus back in the day. This guy probably over the top. A man has been convicted of murdering his coworker after the man stole his lunch from the work refrigerator.
Did you think about murdering that lady we worked with, Rockstar?
No, I could not tell you her name then nor now.
Okay.
Murdering.
I do know her name.
Yeah.
This guy got 100 years in prison. He was sentenced Tuesday. Bazine Beret, 25, received 100 years with 30 years suspended, meaning he'll serve at least 70 years. Beret was found guilty of first-degree murder after he planned and carried out the murder of his coworker, Hernan Leva, 58 years old, in the parking lot of Target back in 2021. According to prosecutors, Beret grew angry after he found out that Leva, who was a janitor at Target, had taken his lunch from the office refrigerator several days earlier. If it's several days earlier...
What if
I've had some time to stew.
Got to calm down.
What if he
man.
got home and his wife said, "Honey, you forgot to take your lunch with you to work today. You left it sitting right here on the kitchen island."
You're going to get a mugshot. Wear your hazmat suit.
This is when Beret made the internal decision to kill Leva. He purchased a hammer and 2 knives 2 days before the murder, told detectives he spent the next day, quote, training for the murder. And on the morning of April 17th, Beret arrived at the employee parking lot early, waited for Leva. When Leva headed to his car, that's when Beret stabbed and bludgeoned him to death.
I mean, my gosh, dude, it was a lunch.
Just write him a note that says, "Leave along my lunch." That was his last name.
I do like this. According to Fox
He became a
News,
target, didn't he?
Yeah. He became a target.
prosecutors say that Beret's sentencing hearing that he threatened to kill or hurt other people if he was not given the harshest possible sentence.
So he wanted the harshest. Yeah.
So there you go. He'll never get out.
All that for lunch.
Yeah.
I bet you guys cannot guess what the most romantic city in America is, according to Eventbrite.
I saw this and I disagree. I'm not going to ruin it.
Bismarck, South Dakota.
I've actually never been to this city, so I can't say.
I have, and I was told by the...
I've heard great things about it.
Let me see if I can judge.
If it's the one I said, I was told by the concierge I could not walk to the restaurant that was recommended.
Oh, Baltimore?
You remember the story?
Yeah.
2 blocks.
No, I mean,
blocks,
I think there's some rough activity. I mean, if you've seen The Wire, a lot of people say that it's
But that makes
relatively
Baltimore
accurate.
look fantastic right there. I mean, what a nice looking city.
Yeah. I've
Big
never been
smokestack.
Never been to that part of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Now, the event management and ticketing company from Eventbrite ranked Baltimore, known as Charm City, over Chicago, Austin, and Denver.
I'd never heard Charm City until the AFC Championship game this past week.
All based on the number of events being held on or around Valentine's Day. Now, the listings currently posted on Eventbrite show that there are a ton of things to do in Baltimore on February 14th, like a twerk fit class, a pizza-making lesson for lovers, and lots of speed dating. Now, the top 5, Baltimore, Chicago, Austin, D.C., and Denver.
I didn't think any of those cities were romantic.
Animals other than Punxsutawney Phil that will try to predict the end of winter on Groundhog Day, which is today. We hadn't even brought that up.
No, I got it.
He saw his shadow, I think. He did not.
He did not see his shadow, which means we've got an early spring coming.
I also heard his hit rate is 39%.
Yep.
So I don't think we should pay very much attention to that.
Get you into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, 390 hitter.
Saw Ned Ryerson earlier.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's selling insurance now.
Phil?
Yeah.
Phil Connors? Oregon's Fufu the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah. I like
There
Fufu. That's a good-looking little animal.
I don't think it is a good-looking animal.
don't?
It is not.
It's a
It
cute
looks like a
little
rat
animal.
with spikes.
You know.
I think
So did Mike,
If Rush
so did Mike
Probst
Shanahan.
was a rat.
Oh, wow. They got Scott.
Yeah, Scott like that one.
it's got Rush's hair. I see that,
Yeah.
So there'd be 2 other rat families that would have a father?
How about Florida's burrowing owl?
It's very
What the hell did you just say?
The F you say? By the way, have you guys ever cussed an inanimate object?
Oh, well, yes.
yeah.
I just did it in the bathroom. I don't know if Scott heard me on the way out, but he was in there with me. And I went to use the dispenser for soap, and it wouldn't come out. And I was like, and I was in a hurry because by the time you get back to the bathroom,
I know,
go to the
it's tough.
bathroom,
Yep.
and you rush back in here, immediately the break's over. So I said F-U-M-F-er to the dispenser because it wouldn't give me soap. And then I walk to the next one, and I'm like, damn, I'm cussing out a dispenser.
Yeah.
Already on edge.
I occasionally do the alarm clock in the morning.
Yeah, I've heard that. Well, I haven't heard you do it. I've heard you talk about it.
Here's
Just to be clear,
another
Rockstar.
animal outside of Puxtawney Phil that is trying to predict the end of winter today. North Carolina's Pigs Penny the squirrel.
A little albino.
Yeah, I would say.
What about New York's Cluxatawny Henrietta the chicken?
That's pretty good, Cluxatawny. Yeah.
Connecticut's Scramble the Duck.
Oh, they look like they're from the movie, Rockstar.
Hey, what size hat you got? Triple X.
How's your work? I got an 11. I'm a 7 3/4, but I've got an 11. Texas Bee Cave Bob the Armadillo.
Oh, Bee Cave Bob, huh?
And finally, Oregon's Stumptown Phil the Beaver.
Oh, look at those orange teeth.
Oh,
my
brush every now and then.
Isn't that why Oregon State's orange and black?
Oh, because of the teeth?
They have orange teeth.
I mean, that's straight up candy corn.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
That's a rough look.
It is. But why are they all trying to predict the weather today? It's Groundhog Day. Why don't they wait till Beaver Day?
Just trying to up him one.
Yep. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. Visit their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply at mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Champy's Chicken brings you this hour. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. We settled a debate in the first segment, but Brown is going to cross-examine the final verdict in the final segment of the show today.
I have a star witness.
To see if he can get a reprieve on the sentence that he could not make, a 15-foot leap from a third story on top of a UPS or FedEx truck and stick the landing. That is coming up in the final segment right here on TNR.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, February 2nd through 4th at the BJCC. See classic cars and hot rods, custom trucks and motorcycles. Friday, meet WWE legend Mick Foley. Saturday, meet Dave Kindig from Kindig Designs. And Sunday, meet Jerry Mathers, the Bee from Leave It to Beaver. Plus, feature cars like the Batmobile and General Lee. Kids, meet your favorite costume characters and race Hot Wheels on the free Hot Wheels drag track. Don't miss the Super Show with one-of-a-kind vehicles from across the country. Get your discount tickets today at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get details at worldofwheels.net.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Are you ready for a winning season in your finances? Legacy Credit Union is bringing you a slam dunk deal on their credit cards. Apply for their balance transfer and pay zero balance transfer fees. That's right, there is no balance transfer fees, and they're offering a jaw-dropping 2.99% APR for the first 6 months. Whether you're looking to clear the cord of those holiday expenses or just wanting to streamline your finances, apply online today, legacycreditunion.com. Annual percentage rate, terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
All right, back with you. Final segment of the day. Big basketball happening this weekend. 4 top 10 teams. Alabama's at home to Mississippi State. Auburn's on the road at Ole Miss looking for that win. Senior Bowl's at 12 noon tomorrow. NFL Network for that game. Pro Bowl activities going on this weekend. Pebble Beach. But we're going to talk about Brown jumping off a building in a second after LT tells us about Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, live music tonight and tomorrow night. I think Sean and the guys are going to be out there tomorrow, right?
That was last weekend.
Oh, okay.
So we had a time machine.
Swing and a miss there. But live music tonight and tomorrow night, not only at the original location in Crestline, also the newest location, Edgewood/Homewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in, enjoy some of the incredible food from Rodney Davis. A little chili out there. You can have some of the delicious chili, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like that Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop in, go see Will Avery and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
All right, so we've had a long-standing discussion on this show that goes back to our days at Cumulus Media. This is pretty much a diagram that we've discussed. So we were about 20 feet up on the 3rd floor, and a large window, and the UPS and FedEx truck would park right outside that window. I used to argue that I could jump from that window and land on top of the UPS truck. We assume it's about 15 feet from building to truck, and the truck's about 12 feet tall. Those are our assumptions. There's really no way to do this other than one of two ways, either mathematically or me actually do it to see if I could survive.
Which we're choosing the latter.
Yeah,
Plan B.
You would like to see Plan B. Probably not going to happen. So my brother holds a degree in aerospace engineering and is an engineer by trade, so I've asked him to run the math.
And a former pastor?
That is correct, yeah. He's with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. My brother, Scott. How are you, Scott?
Hey, how are y'all?
Good. So I challenged you to
listen. But before we start, I've got to make a legal disclaimer here. That this is one of those nobody try this at home things, right?
Oh, sure. Yes, nobody's going to try it at home.
Y'all have a lawyer on retainer. You got all.
We do. We have very good attorneys.
We do, but we'd like to not use it. But go ahead.
And where we are, we're too far away from the parking lot. So
we're in a new building now, as you're aware, Scott. You've been here. So it was me. I did not tell my brother it was me that made this claim, and he asked, was it one of us? I said, just do a generic human. So what did you come up with?
Well, a generic human who, first of all, you really have to divide it into two problems. How long would it take you to fall the 8 feet? It is 8 feet, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I did that math right. My credibility's on the line here. So how long would it take you to fall 8 feet? It would be about 0.7 seconds, about 7/10 of a second.
Mm-hmm.
So then the question becomes, how fast would you have to be running to cover? You told me 10 feet, and then you told me 15 feet.
Well, Lance wanted to change to 15.
It's at least 15.
Yeah.
We're going to go with 15.
And really, he's only.
I didn't know if y'all were playing. Name that tune. If I could jump 10, you could jump 15.
No.
Yeah, and I would tell you his running space to get a jump was only about 3 steps, if I remember correctly.
I gave my brother 10 yards.
Well, and let's talk about the speed of your brother.
Yeah.
Okay. So to cover the 15 feet in that 0.7 seconds, you would have to divide the 15 by 0.7. That would give you feet per second, and you translate that to miles per hour. I'll save you that pain. It comes out to about 14.5 miles per hour. Now, the internet thinks that the average human can run between 14 and 17 miles per hour. So I guess my question to you, Ryan, is how average are you?
Well, I'm very average.
Not in
average.
speed, you're below average.
I'm exceedingly average in all aspects of life, just about.
Below average in speed, though.
Yeah, so you think I could do it is what you're saying, mathematically.
This sounds like...
Well, we haven't got to the point yet.
Yeah, before you give us final verdict here, this sounds like, if I was just going by what you just laid out for me, it's going to be exactly what LT says. He's going to hit right around the top of the F on the FedEx.
Sure, man. I didn't take the measurements. Listen, when I was approached with this, it was just numbers. I didn't know if you were throwing a turkey out of a window, if you're trying to blow a watermelon up off the roof.
So if
don't
I
know.
can do 14 miles per hour, I can make it to the truck. That's what I got to do. Is what you're saying?
14 and a half-ish. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we just got to determine how fast I can get to 14 miles per hour.
You can't do that in
Yeah.
3 steps
Yeah.
or 10 yards. You can't do it that
well,
fast.
We'll never know.
No, I think we just know. He just did it. He laid it out. He said it can't be done.
Yeah. He would have died.
Yeah. I mean, can Tyreek Hill
Could Tyreek Hill do it, Scott?
Yeah. I mean, how fast is he in 10 yards?
Fastest person in the world.
Yeah, he could get there.
Yeah.
Oh, the fastest a person ever traveled was 24,800 miles per hour. That was Apollo 10.
There you go.
The internet. Listen, aerospace engineering, right?
Right.
The internet thinks that the fastest a human has ever been recorded was Usain Bolt at just south of 28 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen your brother run around the building. He is not Usain Bolt.
I mean, that's half of Usain Bolt. You don't think I can do half of what
I
it
do not, Brown.
If a bear was chasing him.
If a bear's chasing me, maybe.
Yeah. Nor do I think you could do that in 10 yards.
Yeah.
Of which is a generous assumption by us because you had 3 steps.
It was
basically.
a closet of a studio. Yeah. I gave myself 10 yards. Probably not 10
it was
yards.
3
I think.
steps.
So not a first down.
Yeah, that's optimistic with 3 steps.
Okay. Yeah. All
And
right.
Taylor is right. We do not even have to risk your life to figure out how fast you can run.
No, but I think we could pad up a truck and put some mattresses down and give him a helmet.
Yeah.
And just have him stand by the window and have you push him off like that girl?
No. He could run however he wanted to do it. His execution is his execution, literally.
Well, listen, I need to throw in that when you hit the truck, you would be traveling just vertically, not to count the horizontal velocity. You'd be traveling about 15 miles per hour. So
there's some damage.
There's some injury territory there.
And see that is what I always said. We have even had UPS guys send me what the roof is made of. I've always said he'd go right through the roof because basically it's plastic on top of the FedEx and the UPS truck. He would have gone right through that down on my shipping down at the bottom.
All right.
Yeah. You notice what you noticed there?
You need your dog food, Jim.
Scott gave me the courtesy brown laugh that Ryan has.
It was a terrible joke, and my brother was too kind to say that was a terrible joke, Jim.
You're really
so
good.
laughed.
Brown's been doing that for me for 14 years.
That's right. I've carried this thing.
Hey, I know.
And we're here to announce this is not our last year of doing it.
Well, Scott, you are a rocket scientist. Are you working on new NASA projects? Sounds like a busy Friday for you.
No, I'm not doing any rocket science anymore. How many rocket science jokes have you made in the last hour, Jim?
Who, me? None.
Only bad ones.
Yeah, none because I had a turkey sandwich that Lance's girlfriend made for me. So I've been eating.
But you're still a practicing engineer, though, Scott.
I am.
Yeah, he's just not a rocket scientist. Not much demand for that anymore outside of Elon Musk. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for donating your morning to the show. We greatly appreciate that. I hope you're.
Do I get any NIL money for this?
Yes, you do. I'll send you a T-shirt. I think you've already got a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I do have a T-shirt.
I know I speak for everyone behind the glass. You are all of a sudden the fastest rising Brown brother in our rankings right now. You're maybe our favorite
you
Brown.
have one who looks like he's about to fall pretty fast.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. All right. Thank you. Good talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good weekend. That is my brother, Scott, on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
So he basically told you couldn't do it.
He pretty much said I couldn't do it unless I could get to 14 miles per hour. That sounds like the key right there.
And that's the minimum. Like if you could get to 14, whether or not you're actually going to be edged over.
Yeah, that's what he said. I think he said if you got to 14 miles per hour, you could go 14 and a half feet, which leaves you where, Brown?
Well, on the side of the truck,
which is what LT always said you'd be, the side of the truck.
You catch your face, your teeth, or your junk on the side of the truck can be bad.
Yeah. So mathematically, it can't be done.
Yeah. But as far as sticking the landing, if you hit mid-chest and grabbed a hold to the top, that was probably your best chance of actually landing on top, hitting the side.
Right.
Oh, no.
Catching your breath, climbing up.
That'd cave his sternum in. Would it not?
I don't know. We just have to do it one day.
You have to do it because there's too many questions.
Yeah, too many unanswered questions, Rockstar. You're correct.
Paul said Brown acted like his brother was a guest. No love in that goodbye at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Thanks for being with us, Scott. Scott's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
I love my brother, okay? Is that what you want me to say? I love my brother, Rockstar. Am I supposed to say that?
Like and subscribe, Scott.
Yeah.
Give us a thumbs up.
We will see you down at the World of Wills later on this afternoon on the video platform. A live show at 3 o'clock. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.